But defensively he's strong again, and it's a treat to watch, right? Because it's been so long since we've seen a guy hit 70 that feels like the number that he's gunning for, and he would be the first since Solani, I believe, to do it.
Let's say Brad Treliving had a medium-term contract to dole out, let's say before the trade deadline. I know that Simon Benoit is an RFA and Bobby McMahon is a UFA. But if you had to go like 4 years with one of those guys right now, which one would you choose?
Benoit. And I love Bobby McMahon. And when we talk about great stories, I think he's a fantastic story. I just look at Benoit's age, and I look at him filling a need. They don't have a lot of guys like him. He was kind of laughing at himself this morning, saying, like, I play a very simple game. I'm going to hang back. I'm going to get the puck out. But he's willing to fight if he's challenged. He throws big hits. He just does the simple stuff. And also, when you look at his trajectory, he seems to be getting more and more comfortable playing more minutes. They've used him on both sides. They've thrown him with different D partners, and he's just kind of, head down, gives full effort. And the fact that he's a little bit younger, and this team needs as many defensemen as it can get. So I'd give it to Benoit.
One last quick one for you. Saturday night, Leafs, Rangers. Is it going to be a Reeves-Rempe lock for a fight that night, or do you think maybe they give the guy a little rest?
Or can the kid's face handle it?
Okay, so I haven't written the story yet, but I had a long talk with Reeves about Rempe, and he's saying that he's not going to go out looking for it, but if one of them throws a big hit, he's open to the idea. And he actually saw a little bit of himself in Rempe in terms of, when you first come in, you want to establish a reputation really fast. You want to ask guys for fights. And, he said that a couple guys turned him down. He said Jamal Mayers actually turned him down and said, you haven't earned it yet, kid. But other guys accepted, and he was thrilled. And so Reeves has seen the highlights, and he appreciates the gusto this young man is showing. So
Reeves might be licking his chops too. Like he might get full value on that.
I don't know if he wants. I mean, this kid is fearless. So
he is fearless, but he's taken a few in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
he's looking rough.
He's challenged some tough customers. So.
Reeves would be next in line. All right. Well, that's Saturday night. We got a big one tonight to get ourselves there. Luke, we appreciate your time tonight. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. You guys too. Take care.
That's Luke Fox of Sportsnet, and that's going to be a great article. I can't wait to read the quotes. Reeves has been very outspoken the last couple of days. I think he's enjoying
He's back in the
his
lineup.
role.
He's talking
back in
again.
the lineup. He's providing to the media what he was promised to be providing. So it has been kind of a nice, happy 7-game stretch for the Maple Leafs. Of course, winning all those games hasn't happened often. It's been 20 years since they had a winning streak this long, which is crazy. I mean, the Oilers went on a 16-game winning streak this year. We've seen multiple teams do 7, 8, 9. Leafs took them 20 years to get to this point. So I think things are going well in Leafs land.
Things are
Dare
going
I
well
say
in Leafs
it?
land. And I think the most fascinating thing about it is that it's not taken or required a Tavares demotion. But John Tavares being dropped from the second line to the third line, I think hasn't been as big a story as it should be, or at least it could be. Like it's a really, I mean, not that we've been waiting for it. We've not been like calling for the demise of John Tavares. It hasn't been like that, but they were untouchable. The 4 untouchable, right? They were inimpeachable. You could not do it. You could not even broach the topic. And yet Tavares being dropped from the second line to the third line has seemingly put everyone in the proper place. And it has come at his expense. Full stop. Like 100%. Less ice time, less opportunity.
That's why you're a captain. And sometimes
Exactly. It should not be an issue.
We certainly hold John Tavares sometimes to a different standard than the raw captain that's jumping in the scrum, that's yelling in the faces, that's kicking garbage cans. Like, sometimes I'm left wanting more from Justin, from you. I am always left wanting
every day
from John Tavares, because he leads by example. He leads by putting effort in, day out, working hard, never, having a night off. But this is why John Tavares is wearing the C right now. And whether you think he's going to wear the C moving forward, if he's going to hand that down to Austin Matthews, whatever. If you're the captain of the team and you know that this demotion has clearly worked, this team looks completely different with 1 or 2 tweaks, that's why you're the leader. And it sucks and it's humbling, but it's also, as Luke put, a legacy opportunity. It's important for this team. You want to win a Stanley Cup? It's about the jersey on the name on the front, not the name on the back, and not the
That's
C
what a
on the
captain
front.
says, right?
Let's go.
And look, there's big responsibility here. You're turning Bobby McMahon, not like Bobby McMahon has really had an issue, but like if you can help make him and establish him as a reliable middle six contributor because you're imparting some wisdom and some of your tricks of the trade and just making him better. In addition to Nick Robertson, making him a passable NHLer or turning him into an NHLer, because that's really, the jury's been out on that for a long time. Those guys are
going to owe him a cut when they finally get a contract.
It could be, future Matt Molsons. But I'm almost a little bit more encouraged about the next chapter of Tavares' career because we've seen it. Like, if he was going to stick around, he wasn't going to be the second line center forever. It was either the wing or a demotion. And if it looks good now and there's less responsibility and there's, okay, it's not $11 million. You don't have to score 40 goals, John. Like, if it's just, hey, can you make this third line really good because you're still a really good player, but you're not the guy that's going to be leading the line necessarily. Like, it makes me feel better about where this could go.
Less pressure on himself.
Maybe it just makes that transition potentially easier because that day is coming.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can sort of blur the lines here and make it more seamless, maybe it works right away. Maybe it works before you even need to go that route.
I think this less rigidity, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
That we've seen from Sheldon Keefe, whether it was forced upon him or not, has been like, oh, that's all it took. It's almost frustrating. And I think you mentioned that when we talked to Luke, just that what could this have been if we weren't so forced into a specific
lineup? It's been an
lineup.
issue for like 4 years.
And look at how, and teams are going to go on streaks, and I'm sure the Maple Leafs will have some losses that will come. And you know what Sheldon Keefe likes to do? Blender it up. And maybe this doesn't last long, but maybe this lasts game 3 of a playoff series and he thinks this worked, right? It's about finding things that work, and maybe he doesn't keep it the rest of the season, but we know that he's found something right now, and just it's about utilizing it the right way. It's looking great right now. We'll give you the lines on the other side of the break.
And very quickly here, the difference in competition when you're on a second line versus a third line is massive. You're playing against worse players, and for that reason, you can be more impactful.
That's why I wanted to always be like a third or fourth liner.
Beat up on the fourth liners.
I
on the
could
other
only
team.
dream of being higher than that. All right, on the other side of the break, we'll give you the lines for tonight's game against the Vegas Golden Knights and our player to watch. Leafs on a 7-game winning streak going into tonight's battle with the Golden Knights. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master planned community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
and a truck or two men, and a truck or two men, and a truck or two men, and a truck. Think 2 men and a truck, 2 men and a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 men and a truck, 2 men and a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men and a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
There's a channel that explodes with gritty guitar texture and perfect pop melodies. Sirius XM Pop Rocks serves up those undeniable 90s anthems, 2K hits, and today's fresh popped finds. Pop Rocks. Turn it up now on Channel 6 and anytime in the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoot it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey.
We're about to bring the wall right now. Sound the alarm.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs back from a lengthy and successful road trip. They're 7-0 on a hot streak here. Headed back home to Scotiabank Arena to play a team they just smoked in the Vegas Golden Knights.
And a team that's not looking like the Stanley Cup champions they are, right? They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Without Jack Eichel, without Mark Stone, they don't look like the same team. Although, Kelly McCrimmon always seems to find a way to make that team look real good to start the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Just a couple LTIR stints, bud.
We'll see if they get back to form. But right now, they look like a pretty vulnerable team, and a team the Maple Leafs should be looking to get two over the last week.
All right, let's talk about that team tonight for the Maple Leafs. It is also their Pride game tonight, so it should be an awesome event at Scotiabank Arena. Your top line, Nyes, Matthews, Marner, followed by Bertuzzi, Domi, Nylander, McMahon, Tavares, Robertson, Holmberg, Kampf, and Reeves. And on the back end, Brody and Riley, Benoit and McCabe, Giordano and Legason, Liljegren dealing with an injury, and then Samsonov in net.
Yeah, so Giordano in for Timothy Liljegren, who's been playing great hockey. I guess the most interesting thing, though, is Brody and Riley back together, but Riley on the right side tonight. Apparently, that is a thing. And Morgan Riley usually plays the left side, but he's a talented guy that can do a couple things for Sheldon Keefe and that Maple Leafs D-core. But yeah, without Liljegren, looks a little bit different. Looks like, hey, this is still a group that could probably use an addition before the trade deadline in about 9 days.
Okay, so as we mentioned, a 7-game winning streak. There's been lots of goal scorers. There's been lots of hat tricks, some great goaltending. But we have singled out one player tonight on our Player to Watch, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. So many people to choose from. What do we have, Justin?
Yeah, there is a lot to choose from. I'm pulled in many directions, but I think we got to go with Max Domi. We haven't picked Max Domi for this too many times, but Max Domi's coming off a 2-goal performance versus Vegas last time out. Of course, he's playing in a more high-profile position now with William Nylander and Tyler Bertuzzi on that second line. Probably not going to be leaning on power play minutes, but will play a lot on that line and maybe can squeak in some power play minutes on the second unit. But it worked for him last time out versus Vegas. Maybe it's just the team that looks good to him when he's out there. Maybe Max Domi can find the back of the net. Again, plus 400 anytime goal scorer.
I'd just like to throw out Michael Amadio because the guy is a Leafs killer, a former Maple Leaf for a short stint. He scored last time they played, and I was profiting from that. So I like Michael Amadio as well. And, you know, we had a little off-air talk about Bobby McMahon being as red hot as possible. I can't just give everybody as my player to watch, but I have invested interest in those two players tonight.
I'll throw another one out there. I like Pontus Holmberg tonight. Pontus Holmberg is not your average fourth liner, at least in my eyes. Got the ability to put the puck in the back of the net. So a lot of options. Hopefully it's a high-scoring game at Scotiabank Arena tonight.
They should be announcing the starting lineups any second. I think there's an extra oomph for Morgan Riley's return.
There better be.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it got a reaction from the team. I think it gets a reaction from the crowd tonight. I think there's going to be a big pump for Morgan Riley.
Maybe a statue for Ridley Gregg as well. All right, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the first period after the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
Caitlin Clark is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader.
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastian won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did.
Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure, and Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on SiriusXM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Coolies and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome to Scotiabank Arena. The Diplomats at the Disc Dungeons tonight, brought to you by Superior Door and Gate Systems, Canada's top choice for automatic doors and security gates, security fencing, and bollards. Because security can only be measured by what it will save you. Ilya Samsonov is 14-4-6 and on a roll. 3.18 is goals against average, and his save percentage up to .883. Adam Hill, 14-5-2, 2.27 for the Vegas Golden Knights, and a robust .927 save percentage. But the Maple Leafs had their way with him the other night. Leafs to the right, and the Vegas Golden Knights to the left as the puck slides down into Vegas territory. Pinching down the boards is Brody. Brody got it into the corner and sent around to an open wing, and Riley is trying to get there first, and he does. Back to the net, a centering pass, and Matthews chipped it over top of the crossbar. Matthews in the near corner. Now to Marner. Marner working back towards the blue line to the far side. He goes to Benoit. Benoit in the middle of a change to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi along the boards finds Nylander. Nylander works the boards. To the near side it comes to McCabe with a shot. That's blocked. There's a big rebound. And it trickled by the open net. Benoit keeping it alive. Back to Nylander. Nylander can't keep it in the first time or the second. And it's pushed out into the center ice area. Leafs starting quickly. Nylander in, and the shot is redirected off the stick of Shea Theodore up into the screen, out of play.
Well, do we throw the first game at home after a long road trip? Syndrome out the window? Because the Leafs are off to a great start. A minute 7 in as they control it right in front of the Vegas. That the best chance was actually Max Domi trying to get to a rebound after a Jake McCabe shot. Tyler Bertuzzi was right there as well.
Draw to the right in the Vegas zone. Third line on for Toronto. Tavares scrums the draw. It comes to the near boards. Bobby McMahon got there but couldn't keep it in. Neither could Giordano, who is back in the lineup after pretty much a week off in the unfortunate passing of his dad. Now the Leafs send it in over the line, and that's going to be offside. Nicky Robertson in early on the right wing.
Well, for the Vegas Golden Knights, it's looking a lot like 2 years ago when they missed the playoffs last year. Obviously, Stanley Cup champions. But Mark Stone and Jack Eichel last year. Eichel played 34 games. Stone played 37. They're both out of the lineup now. And it may be long term for Stone, although they figure Eichel could be back within the next week or two.
Puck in the offensive zone for the Maple Leafs. Nicholas Hague gets it out at center. The Leafs are there to turn it over again, only to have Vegas knock it back into their own end. Whitecloud playing it off. The top 6 defensemen for the Golden Knights are all healthy and in the lineup. But they've gone, about 5 games now without winning with these guys. And this was always the strength of their team a year ago, going to the Stanley Cup championship. Lagesson backhands it, bouncing in on goal. Hill will steer that aside. Whitecloud tries to move it up ice and gets it out. And the Knights are going to send it down into the lead zone. In goes Brody. Brody against the boards. Got it freed up for Camp. Off the wall. It'll be played ahead. And now the Leafs will send it back. And Brody gets it off Riley and sends it down into Vegas territory. An interesting situation. Without Liljegren in the lineup, the Leafs have got 6 left-handed shooting defensemen. Morgan Riley usually plays the left side, and Brody has played the right side when they have been a tandem. But on this occasion, because the success Brody has had, it's Riley over on that side as a shot by Marner deflected wide of the net, and it's cleared out into the center ice area.
It's hard to tell if it's coincidental or if there's something to it with Brody playing so much better during that stretch, moving over to his natural side.
Played down in on goal. Samsonov leaves it aside now for McCabe. He gets it on to Matthews, right wing side. Matthews gets the return pass, and his backhand was deflected up into the screen by Pietrangelo.
Austin Matthews trying to come out of this one-game slump.
Is that allowed?
It is.
Can you say that?
Yeah, I think you've got it. When you consider, forget the 52 goals overall, 38 of them coming in the last 35 games. You're almost getting to the point where if he doesn't score in a period, you think it's a bit of a slump or dry spell.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Chipped along the boards there by Brody. A centering pass knocked away by Samsonov's stick. Brody is able to get it elevated through center, but it's picked off by Chandler Stevenson, and he will regroup the puck back in the Vegas Golden Knight area. Pietrangelo sends it down into the Leaf end. Now Riley over on the right wing side. Back it comes to Brody. Brody with a quick pass. Nylander with speed through the neutral zone. A drop pass Bertuzzi. And he looked for Domi on the far side, and Max couldn't handle the pass. At the point of drive, that whistles wide of the net off the stick of Lagesson. Lagesson can't keep the puck in then as it comes to center ice, and Tavares turns it back to the defenseman. Left wing side, Giordano to Tavares. In on the wing it goes for McMahon. He carries his defenseman into the corner. Centering pass didn't work. Polisar trying to find some skating room now, and the Vegas Golden Knight player gets it over on the left wing side and out at center ice, only to have it intercepted by the Leafs. Chipped out into center ice territory, grabbed off by McMahon. Long shoot in. Steered wide of the goal by Hill. Into the corner. It'll come back to the right point for McCabe. He tried to send it in deep. Goes down into the near corner. Missing a hit there was McMahon, but coming up with the puck is Zach Whitecloud. Whitecloud gets it off his stick to center. Kolasar will drop it back and now get a return pass to the Leaf blue line. He's got to wait for a teammate to get back on side before dumping it in. But team changing now, both teams having done so. And the pass comes ahead now for Holmberg, who drops it back, played ahead. Camping over the line. Reeves racing after a loose puck. And a good save made by Hill. Reeves broke in on the right wing. Back of the net for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg in front of the net, and a shot by David Camp went just wide. Holmberg working back of the goal again to Reeves. Reeves banks it off the boards to the point. A long shot taken there by Giordano. Went off a player in front of the net. And the Golden Knights are going to get it out at center, and a hand pass will stop play. But a good start nonetheless by the Maple Leafs, out shooting Vegas 5-2.
And really, Vegas hasn't had much offensive zone time at all, have they, in the first 5 minutes of this game? You mentioned their woes coming in. They're 0-2-1 in the last 3, which includes the Leafs game in Vegas, and just 1 win in their last 6 at 1-4-1. But this is game 2 of a 5-game road trip. Most recently lost a couple of nights ago in overtime in Ottawa.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Riley backhanded it ahead. That's rattled down into Vegas territory, and icing called by the linesmen, who are Mark Shuchuk of Waterdown, Brad Kovacic, and the referees Peter MacDougall and Garrett Rank.
Our buddy Stan from down the hall sometimes brings us in some interesting stats.
Weird man.
Yes, but interesting stats nonetheless. But it's some stuff on Bruce Cassidy, coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. That's pretty interesting.
Pass off a skate in the Leaf zone, goes to the near boards, and Nye sends it behind the net for Riley, who will start out with it. He gets it ahead for Matthews. Matthews in over the line, trying to make a little drop pass to Nyes, who's batted it out of the air but didn't get it in deep. Now he has it again into the slot area for Marner. Just trying to return the favor, and it was picked off. Boy, Nyes was in position A if that puck got to him. Marner had his multi-assist streak snap the other night. Nylander weaves in with a shot. That was blocked. He takes it into the corner. Able to kick it free and back of the net for Domi. Domi couldn't get it in front. And out come the Vegas Golden Knights to center. Off a glove and into the zone for Chandler Stevenson. Sprawling to block that pass, though, was Jake McCabe. Comes back to the point and a shot knocked away by Samsonov. Whistled around the boards. It's going to bounce out past White Cloud all the way back into Vegas territory. No score, first period. Closing in on 7.5 minutes play. Play it around back of the net. Off the boards to the line, but not out. Vegas keep it in momentarily. Stolen back by Bertuzzi. He was... the girls were out to bingo, and the boys were getting stinko on Saturday night. Sudbury Saturday night. He comes up with a hat trick on his birthday. Fanning on a shot was Robertson. And it's cleared out and down on the left wing side. Brought in by Nicholas Waugh. Tried to get it into the slot area for a Paul Cotter shot that was carried down into the corner. Scrummed up against the end boards before it's pried loose by the Maple Leafs and launched to the line and just out. McCabe, or at least McMahon, trying to knock it up along the boards but failing, and the Leafs are back in their own zone. Tavares unable to tip a pass, kept alive now by Pietrangelo with a pass in front of the net. The first big save from Samsonov is a pretty good one as Robertson gets it out at center.
Well, at least inability to clear the zone, and Ilya Samsonov bails them out. He had to go quickly from his left to his right.
Leafs play it through center. Reeves couldn't get the pass. Brought by Pietrangelo back in, and a long shoot in is going to be smothered by Ilya Samsonov. Joe Wall back up with the big team. He's not in uniform tonight. Martin Jones backing up Samsonov, but Wall getting close. And it is a 0-0 tie. The Leafs and the Golden Knights. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Immortalized by Tom Petty.
And there goes the last DJ.
LA DJ Jim Ladd became a legend, captivating listeners for over 50 years with thematic sets of classic album rock. Join the journey as we remember Jim with an entire weekend of his shows. A Salute to Jim Ladd starts Friday in the Deep Tracks Channel 308 on most radios, the all-new SiriusXM app, and this weekend on SiriusXM Channel 107.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
Face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
Now, we've got time. Bruce Cassidy is the only current coach to have won the Cup, the Jack Adams Trophy as Coach of the Year, the President's Trophy, and both the Western and Eastern Conference championships. Only 2 others have done it in NHL history.
Wow. Scotty Bowman. He's won everything else.
Well, since that's what Stan told you before, yes, you're right. You got the other one? Or did you remember it?
No, it's not. I hate that, Stanley.
Mike Keenan.
Mike Keenan. That's right. Well, and in fairness, Bowman wins it because Detroit is in the West, right? Before they moved to the East.
Yeah, there's an asterisk on the cup.
Well, no, there's an asterisk. The asterisk is called a geography.
It was the West at the time.
All right, but still. Played ahead at center to the line, broken up by the Leafs at the blue line. Well, you know that I am a major in geography, Mr. Ralph, and that's why I, longitude and latitude, stuff like that.
You're a major something.
Yes. Bad save made there by Hill. Played around back of the net. Nylander up against the boards to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi trying to fight along the wall. It's poked back of the net. And Alec Martinez is there to launch it high to center ice. Backhanded by Vegas into the Toronto zone. Brody back of the net for Riley. Riley on the near boards this time couldn't come up with it. A centering pass in front. That's knocked down and cleared to the far boards. Haig keeping it alive for Vegas with a shot on goal. The puck along the wall kept in, but then stolen by Nylander, who skates it out at center. Works back into his own end. The Leafs are going to get a change going. Willie is ragging the puck as he drops it off to Giordano. Mark Giordano to center. Played in over the line, and in goes Tavares after the loose puck. Bobby McMahon has joined him in the scrum. Vegas gets it clear back of the net. No score midway through period number 1. Brought to center by Keegan Colasar, and he'll get it to the line and in. Leafs play it right back out into neutral ice. White Cloud turning back up ice, but gave the puck away and brought on by Tavares. Rung the boards to the far side. No one home. Puck bounces. Where did that go? Took a
it did disappear, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Maybe it might have gone up in the mesh, but it looked like it hit the dasher boards and went straight up in the air.
Puck back in the Toronto end. One time I really needed your help. You were nowhere to be found.
I was pointing.
Brought out at center ice now by David Camp. Camp gets to the line, got a shot away, but it was blocked at the defense and quickly brought back the other way by Rempel. Rempel with a long shot into the glove of goaltender Ilya Samsonov, and he's going to cover up.
The shortstop goes out and he can't see it, so he starts waving to let people know. Yeah. That's what I was doing for you. I didn't know where it was either.
Where it was.
Ground rule. That's going to be a bloop single.
Bloop single, ground rule double, whatever you want. All right, no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. I am Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel! The birthday boy has got 3!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bone along with Jim Ralph back here at Scotiabank Arena. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert standing by for our intermissions. And Armin Zagarian and Andrew Holland eating pizza and ice cream and various other soft drinks and just watching the game. Bring it in with a long shot that just drilled wide of the net. Hill didn't get a piece of that. Riley centering pass hit the side of the goal. McNabb tries to play it to the line, but not out. Leafs are able to keep it in. Tip pass back for Marner. Marner tried to get it in front of the net where Nyes was stationed, but he was taken off the puck by Braden McNabb. Play it around the boards to the near side. Brody thought about pinching, and Morgan Riley backed up that pinch rather adroitly as it's played around the boards on the near side. That means he did a good job adroitly.
Huh.
Yeah. Around back of the net. Now the Leafs have it in their own.
I thought he was Canadian.
No, he's from Detroit. He's adroitly. Folks, you learn a lot of things on these broadcasts. Not a lot that you can use, but you learn a lot of things. Carlson trying to get a shot away. It was blocked by the Leafs and played to center and then volleyballed ahead by Vegas, but carried in by McCabe on the far side to Domi. Saucered back, and now Nylander fakes a slap shot. Left wing side. Benoit into the chest and smothered by Aiden Hill, but a good move by the Leafs, finding the open man, and Simon Benoit got a pretty good shot away. I think a little lower he would have liked that, but
yeah, you still add Tyler Bertuzzi couldn't get to the front of the net and provide the screen on Hill. But boy, Willie Nylander looked like he was going to one-time it from the point when he got it, and then realized there was no traffic in front. So used the slapper as a fake. Stopped, pulled up, went around a man, and found Benoit at the top of the left wing circle.
Nylander has the puck slide off his stick, and the Knights are able to start back up ice at center. Rempel sends it into the Toronto zone. Hustling in after it is Fraze. It goes into the corner. Domi had it on his stick momentarily. Brody trying to pry it free as well, and a bouncing disc finally goes into the near corner. Back to the point now to Whitecloud. Over to the other defenseman, a long shot. Blocked away nicely there by Samsonov. Leafs don't get it out of the zone, though. Here's a chance for Fraze to get it back to the point. Whitecloud, another shot in traffic, and it's knocked wide of the Leaf net. Riley punches it ahead. Cleared to the line by the Leafs, and then Bertuzzi is able to get it out. Played right back in again. Leafs are changing, and they were fortunate not to have too many men on the ice there. Played to the Vegas blue line, but not into the zone. One-on-one rush the other way, going wide on Lagesson. Lagesson, a good job taking his man to the inboards. Puck in the Toronto zone. Played up ahead now for Bobby McMahon. He couldn't get it up the wall. It's still at the half boards in the Toronto zone. 5:46 to play first period, scoreless. Puck still bang, hack, whack, and slash. Back to the point, and the Leafs are finally going to get it out at center. McMahon works down the left wing, trying to work in over the line. Bobby McMahon with 9 goals now on the regular season, as it is played down into the Toronto end. Benoit stands up his man nicely to allow a loose puck to be corralled and brought to center ice now with a right wing feed. Here's Benoit in with a shot, and that was steered wide of the net by Hill. Simon Benoit jumping into the rush here a little bit, isn't he?
Just saying, he's been everywhere. Right side, left side.
McCabe plays it down into Vegas territory. Pietrangelo gets it up on the wing. Amadio had it stripped away. The Leafs try to muscle it down the left wing boards and do. David Camp run to the wall by Whitecloud. Gets it into the end boards. Riley got it freed up to the right wing side. He tries to play it back in now for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg coming out of the corner. Still with it. Looked like he was tripped. Now Reeves gets it back to the point. Over on the far side to Riley. Riley backhands it back of the net again. It comes to the side of the goal, and Pontus Holmberg couldn't get a stick on it. Good fourth line shift, though, nonetheless by the Maple Leafs. Pass up ahead at center. Riley couldn't get in cleanly. Brody will just lay it in on the boards. Matthews goes into the forecheck. He'll play it up on the wing on the far side, but it's brought out at center ice now by Marchessault into the Leaf end. Benoit reversing the puck for Marner. Restored to the far side. Benoit couldn't catch up to it. It's back out at center ice, but under the control of the Vegas Golden Knights. And Pietrangelo will send it down into the Toronto end. Marner tipped it, but it was right onto the stick of Carlson, and he whipped it just wide. Kept in at the blue line, a long shot wide of the Leaf goal. 3:35 to go in a scoreless first. Pietrangelo at the point. Sent it down into the corner. Bouncing puck goes around to the far side. McCabe gets there first. On his backhand, he'll elevate it through neutral ice. Pietrangelo given a jolt there by Nyes. Back in come the Golden Knights. Carlson sweeping it around back of the net, but it's out of the reach of all of his teammates. And it is Giordano skating down the left wing boards to center and getting it down into Vegas territory. McNabb plays it around back of the net. He'll get it out into neutral ice. Fraze sends it into the Leaf zone. Goaltender Samsonov got it ahead. Bertuzzi touched it, I guess, because there's no icing, but it's down into Vegas territory. Here's Domi getting it back to the point to Riley. Riley's shot knocked a stick out of the hands of the Vegas player, but the puck is out at center ice and down into the Leaf end. Riley bangs into his man on the boards. Nylander around back of the net, gives it back to him. Riley returns the favor, and Willie is through neutral ice to center. In on the left wing, nicely to Tavares. Tavares fanned on a shot. Tries to center. Had a man out there, but it went right by Bertuzzi. And then a collision at center ice as McCabe stood up Keegan Colasar, but McCabe was the one that went down, but it turns into an icing anyway.
One thing you really notice in watching Morgan Riley play the right side, how much more difficult it is when you go D to D in the offensive zone for him to make a play. Because now he's got to turn his body. I mean, saw a couple of times where the most you can do is knife it down the boards and hopefully the forward picks it up. So you wonder how often being on the wrong side is going to affect what happens on the ice.
And then I suppose what you do then is you empathize with TJ Brody, who plays the right side almost exclusively. And then when he's been moved here, there's a good pad save made there by Samsonov, allowing Tavares to lead three Leafs to center. In for McMahon. He overskated the puck and slid into the boards.
Wait, I think, is McMahon getting the penalty? The Leafs had the puck when the whistle went.
Both players went down. Now McMahon's not heading over to the penalty box.
I don't think anybody knows who got it.
Or is he? Nope. I think he is.
Number 74 has a 2-minute minor for
Wow. These new rules are hard to follow.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep. It's going. And it is gone. It is bedlam at the bank.
Hear the games you just can't miss.
Caitlin Clark is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader.
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton.
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back.
Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Radio Network.
First period is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. First power play for either team and a wrist shot. Wired wide of the Leaf goal. Comes back up on the near wing. Kept alive down the boards by Chandler Stevenson. The Leafs intercept, and breaking out is Marner. Marner shields the puck nicely. He's got Kemp going to the front of the net. And Kemp did get a rebound, but he shoveled the backhand wide of the goal.
Boy, that was from the top of the crease. Kemp on the backhand, I don't think was able to really get it to settle down.
Good play by Giordano to block the initial entry into the Leaf zone. Now it's down into the near corner, and now back to the net for Brody. Brody trying to get it back, had it intercepted, and Giordano got back out in time to get a piece of that puck that was shot at the net. Slowed it up appreciably, and goaltender Samsonov is able to jump on it.
Why, TJ Brody tried to go D behind the net to Giordano, and it was picked off and thrown back out in front. So Giordano did a great job to recover. He's on the boards behind the net and has to come charging out and take away Stevenson. By the way, griped about the penalty call.
Yep.
It was the right call. After video review,
yes,
that was a great call. Both players went down, but it was McMahon that got his stick played into the skates.
Last in the play, the first period.
Got to stop the presses here then. That's a first for you.
Well, maybe one day you'll do it. Just trying to open the door.
Well, you know. Here the Golden Knights to the line. They rip it around the boards. Less than a minute to go in the period. It comes back on the near point. Theodore keeping it alive to the far side. Golden Knights work it down into the corner. Marchessault tied up on the board, swung around the wall. They'll have to hustle to keep it in, and they do. Down the boards, Amadio into the corner. It comes back to the blue line. Theodore walks the line, got a shot through. Taken off the chest nicely there by Samsonov, who scooped it into the corner. Round back of the net was 12 seconds to go in the period. At the point again. Another shot. That's deflected in front. Chipped up on the wing. 6 seconds left. Matthews is by himself to the line. Matthews is going to get a shot away, and it's into the glove of Hill. I think there are a lot of guys with stopwatches on their arms helping Matthews out there with the accurate time of the period.
Yeah, he still had to let it go from well out left wing boards above the face-off circle. But you can see from up here, there was zip on that, wasn't there? Aiden Hill made it look easy. But 12 seconds to go, and the penalty to Bobby McMahon when the Leafs and Golden Knights start the second period.
11-9 shots favor Vegas. A lot of that in the last little bit with the power play. But we'll step aside and send it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert with our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Radio Andy.
Hey, this is Jeff Lewis, host of Jeff Lewis Live on Radio Andy. I'm here to tell you about the brand new Sirius XM app. Check out my new personal page on the fully redesigned app to see all the places you can hear and see me. Plus, you'll find all my latest episodes, archived episodes, and more. Just search Jeff Lewis in the app to find me, then keep exploring to add all your Sirius XM favorites and new discoveries to your library.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Ashton won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Coolius and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had, the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermissions. Leafs and Golden Knights tied up at 0-0 after the first period. And, the Leafs were on a lengthy road trip. They are riding a lot of momentum. But I think a slow start to this one is justified. But, we kind of also saw the way that other period went against Vegas and the Leafs last time out. So a bit of a contrast.
Well, credit to Sam McKee, who's hosting Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus after we're done, because after Kipper and Bourne, he said he expects a slow start after a long and eventful, not long, but an eventful road trip. And that's exactly what we got. I mean, from both sides, really the Maple Leafs didn't have anything offensively. I think Vegas was a little bit better than Toronto was in that period. But above anything else, I feel like it was a reminder of how far Ilya Samsonov's come. I'm not even really worried
to have from that.
Not worried in any, and it wasn't like a crazy period offensively from Vegas by any stretch of the imagination. I think 0.63 expected goals for. So that's a good period for Samsonov to not give up anything when it was reasonably busy in front of him. But it just seems like Samsonov is the guy. He's just ready for whatever. He just feels and looks comfortable again. And I thought he was good in that period and probably Toronto's best player, and probably needed it to be in order for it to be scoreless after one.
Well, I guess that really helps out with the discussion of Joseph Woll coming, or does that complicate things? Because it sounds like Joe Woll is ready-ish, maybe on his own accord to say it's time, because he got an opportunity to get back into the Marlies mix of things. I believe that he could be called up whenever he sees fit, right? When I heard Sheldon Keefe talking, I believe it was last week, he kind of said the ball was in his court in a sense. And so maybe Joseph Woll wants to be 100%, but if you have Ilya Samsonov playing the way that he has been over this stretch, maybe you can afford to wait a little bit and not push your young prospect hopeful star into the net and have an issue because a high ankle sprain is not easy to come back from. You're a goaltender. You know, there was so much pressure on Samsonov and he crumbled, but now maybe a little bit less pressure on Samsonov and he's thriving. We'll
Definitely.
see.
I feel like the urgency is not there anymore because of what Ilya Samsonov has been able to provide. But it is interesting, the delicate nature with which the Maple Leafs deal with their goaltenders. Like Dennis Hildeby, under no circumstances can he get into goal for the Maple Leafs. Like, no way. Not happening. No chance. No. And with Joseph Woll, it seems like, okay, I mean, you're ready and you're making the decision. And who's making the decision? And why aren't you here if you're ready? I mean, there's salary cap stuff. There's the trade deadline looming. Maybe there's some reason
Matt
to
Murray
just
looming.
not have that paper transaction actually happen. I get there's other factors in this. But when you're ready generally. And it's interesting how they treat these goaltenders here.
All right, so a bit of a quiet period, a slow start there, but man, I guess the most insightful thing that we saw from the broadcast was Jake McCabe's nose just annihilated once again. He leads the league in nosebleeds. There's just no question about it.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel bad for the guy. It was a tough scene once again.
He might save himself some trouble if he just mixes in a fishbowl for a week, right? Like every time that nose gets touched, it's blowing up. It's blowing up. It clearly has not healed since the last time or times that he's been popped in the noggin. It just seems like, but you know what? It is endearing. It is endearing. If you're a Leafs fan, you're like, I love that Jake McCabe.
He can
like,
rock it.
The nose is bleeding. He's got Kleenex shoved up the nose, and he's just playing hard out there. And he made a really good defensive play on a 2-on-1 there for Vegas.
Who looks worse right now, Matt Rempe or?
No one looks worse than Rempe right now.
That guy looks like a Halloween display.
And he'll be rolling through Toronto on Saturday night. Should be interesting.
A quick, you know what? Our text line's always open at 590 if you're listening. We talked to Luke Fox in our pregame show, and Justin raised a really good hypothetical question. We can raise it to our listeners as they listen to Jim and Joe throughout
and
the rest of the
want
game.
your take.
Okay, well, what's the question then?
Okay, so two standouts for the Maple Leafs that were not guaranteed to play really any role on this team have been, of course, Simone Benoit on the blue line and Bobby McMahon, who probably we thought was going to give us something, but we didn't know exactly what. But I think both of them have definitely earned their spot, earned pretty important roles on this team, and are both in different ways looking for a contract to start next season. And if you were just handed a 4-year deal, you got to give it to one of them. We're doing 4 because 7 and 8 is a lot, obviously. And if you're just doing 1 or 2, we're kicking the can down the road. But if you have to make a decent investment in one of those players, which one would you choose?
This pains me as the leader of the Bobby McMatthews fan club, but I think I would also go with Simone Benoit.
Really? That's what Luke said.
I just look at that decor. He's been such a hidden, bright spot gem. And something that Luke said that I totally agree with is he plays a very simple, very steady, physical, risk-free game. The Leafs have been looking for someone like that for a really long time. I love what Bobby McMahon brings, but you can find a version of a Bobby McMahon. The Leafs have stumbled upon Bobby McMahons before. I think Simon Benoit, for this like miracle acquisition that nobody even really thought about, has been outstanding. Not to say that I don't love Bobby McMahon.
Maybe this is like my personality shining through, but I feel like I would go Bobby McMahon because I feel like there's no risk with a Bobby McMahon 4-year deal. Like he can just play in your bottom 6 till the end of time, and I think you're going to feel okay with it. When Simone Benoit, like I love what he's brought to the table this year. Am I convinced in 3 years that he's going to be like guaranteed a top 6 defenseman, then one of 6?
He doesn't need to be a top 6 defenseman.
I guess, but like if you're signing him long term, he's making enough where you can't bury him, right?
Top
like if you're signing a 4-year deal, he's in your top 6. He is a everyday guy for you for 4 more years. I feel like we're not quite there yet, but with McMahon, like he can play on your team or my team.
How about we just sign them both
any day? And they're going to sign both, maybe not to 4-year deals though, because that's going to carve into their career earnings if they jump the gun on the contract too soon.
All right, we'll take your thoughts, 590. We'll take a quick break as well. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Today, when it comes to following sports, a basic box score just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you won't just see Makar's time on ice. You'll see where he spent it. You won't just know Matthews scored. You'll know how hard he shot it. And you won't just get OV's shot total. You'll know where he shot it from. Even if they're all from the same place. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
Think 2 minute a truck, 2 minute a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute a truck, 2 minute a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
What a brilliant move by Willie Nylander, and we have a tie game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is a 0-0 tie between the Leafs and the Golden Knights at Scotiabank Arena. But let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Another busy night around the NHL, and we're just getting started. 5 of 12 games.
Good math. I saw you counting quickly there.
I thought it was 10, but it is indeed 12, only 5 underway. So let's get through them. The Panthers lead the Sabres 2-1, end of one. The Canadians have a 1-0 lead on the Coyotes. It's 1-0 Flyers leading the Lightning, and the Red Hot Red Wings are up 2-0 over the Capitals. Still to come tonight, the Predators host the Senators, Jets and Blues, Wild and Hurricanes, Kings in Alberta to face the Flames, Stars and Avalanche in a big one later on in the Central Division, and the Canucks will host the Penguins, and the Sharks, the lowly Sharks, will host the Devils.
I think everybody got the cobwebs out that first period, maybe. Golden Knights, Leafs. Now it is it's an important game for the Maple Leafs. They got a win streak on the line. Vegas embarrassed from their last outing. I think this period might bring a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, I hope so, and I think it will. I think a nice little not 20 minutes. The intermission's not 20 minutes, but just, a little get that chip back on the shoulder for the Maple Leafs, come out better in the second period and see if something changes.
All right, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
Caitlin Clark is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader.
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Well, going along with Jim Ralph back here. At first period had a little bit of everything, including 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, the Leafs came out great. The first 5 minutes of the opening period, they absolutely owned Vegas. Weren't able to get anything to fall for them. Shots on goal were even after the first period. So just 12 seconds left in the penalty to Bobby McMahon. Before he gets out. I think maybe the best part of the streak, Joe, is that they haven't relied on Ilya Samsonov to be the sole reason every night. It's not one of those streaks where you say, well, they were lucky. They were outshot 52-26 and won in overtime. For the most part, they've controlled every game until the last game in Colorado where they were down 2-0 and had to come back. But for the most part, it's been a 20-man effort up and down the lineup.
I think your point's well made here as the puck goes wide of the Leaf goal, far side for Pietrangelo. A shot stopped in front of the net. Penalty is about to expire and now has, as the Leafs are able to back it out on the right wing side, and Morgan Riley comes to the red line before chipping it in. And the other thing, you mentioned 20 men, and the depth of scoring has been an integral part.
Well, absolutely. And again, it's the chicken and the egg theory, right? They got more ice time because they were producing, or they produced because the ice time went out.
Now here's a stolen puck in a long reach now by Nylander. A pass back in front of the net. Bertuzzi couldn't get a shot. Gets it back to Domi. Cross ice pass. Nylander couldn't deliver. He has it in the far corner though, and now it is knocked off his stick and out at center ice, and Benoit will go back.
Hayden Hill, I believe, has lost his skate blade. He was in trouble trying to get back. I mean, the Leafs were unable to take advantage as Hayden Hill had slid out of the net. Looked like a soccer goalie on a penalty kick. Guessing the wrong way.
How many times have we seen this?
With goalies?
Yeah.
Not as often with goalies, I don't think.
But at least 3 times this year, I think.
With goalies?
Yep.
Certainly see it with players quite a bit. And we're looking again. I think it's because he scraped it on the post. It came off and it was lying behind him right on the goal line. And the thing is, I mean,
maybe the game should just continue, right?
Well, it did.
Yeah, but shouldn't it just continue right through until you get a stoppage of play?
I think it would make a lot more fun if you took the blades out of the skates of the goalies.
Yes, yeah. Well, he's over at the bench getting a new one put in, or the old one put in, or.
But what is amazing is how quickly they are able, for the most part, to change them. I don't know if goalie blades are a little more difficult.
I don't know. I got the old one that's pretty much solidified to the boot. Of course, I got the skates back in the 50s. They were really good back then, you know. Well, whatever it is, it's fixed. Good job done by the training staff of the Golden Knights, and Aiden Hill got himself back in the twine tent. Face-off outside the Vegas Golden Knight blue line. No score. And the Knights have it back in their own end. McNabb, a pass intercepted. Domi tried to chip it in. That was blocked by McNabb. Carried forward with a pass by Barbashev in on the right wing. Good play by Benoit to take his man into the corner. Now the puck comes free. Banked back to the blue line, but it was so hard it was unable to be kept in, and it slid all the way back into Vegas Golden Knight territory. Now Domi had it follow him as he kind of collided with the puck carrier. Now stolen back. Pass into the corner for Domi. He's going to go to the side of the centering pass. Oh, and Tavares ripped it just wide of the net. Ensuing rebound goes all the way back into the Leaf end. Lagesson on the right wing side, and here's Robertson wheeling through center in on the right side. McMahon, a pass in front. Oh, and the rebound off the goaltender went right by the Leaf captain. Centering pass. McMahon back of the goal. Off the boards, it'll come back towards the blue line. Kept alive by Lagesson. Fed into an empty corner around back of the net. Robertson couldn't get there. And now up on the wing, Colasar for the Golden Knights sends it down into the Leaf zone. Bobby McMahon intercepts. He'll start back for the Leafs, launching a high alley-oop pass in for Morgan Riley. Riley works hard to the side of the net. Centering pass. Oh, my. Hill looked like he was pulling away from that post, didn't he? And Morgan Riley almost slipped it in there.
And because he is a left-handed shot playing the right side, it's a backhand. So a little more difficult for Hill to read. Yeah, I mean, this puck was on end, I think, Joe, as Riley just threw it to the net from about 6 inches above the goal line to the left of Hill, and it got stuck under his blocker, between his blocker and the crest on his jersey.
This starts a 5-game homestand for the Maple Leafs. They'll have Arizona, the Rangers, Boston, Buffalo, and equals the longest homestand of the season, where the Leafs went 3-2 earlier in the campaign. Now a giveaway and a pass on the wing, and a good pad save made by Samsonov. Leafs are able to break it out at center. Pontus Holmberg laying it in on the right wing boards and hustles in there after it. Back of the net, Ryan Reeves trying to help him out. Back for Holmberg, back to Reeves. Weave back of the goal for David Camp. Camp taken to the board, scrummed it along the wall, and it's going to be cleared out now by Vegas and pushed to center ice and down into the Leaf end. Brody going back to the puck. Played it to defense partner Riley. Now to Brody. Brody on the left side now, so he and Riley are kind of interchanging, if you will. Pass into neutral ice. Broken up and played back down into the Toronto end. Morgan Riley hustles after it. Got it back of the net, but it was intercepted. Rempel tries to get it in front. It goes around back of the net. Tying up his man was Brody, who took him down. That might have been a penalty. Yeah, nuts. And it was. Mason Morelli taken down, and a holding call is coming here from Garrett Rank.
A near official 15 feet away said no. The official at center had a better look at it, and
Toronto penalty number 78, 2 minutes, holding.
And the Leafs will be shorthanded again. I agree, though. I think this was a penalty. As TJ Brody, as soon as you let go of the stick, reach around with one hand. Boy. Might have been able to call a cross check on Vegas there after that as well, but Brody is gone, and the Golden Knights are in a stretch where they're 4 for 27 on the power play in their last 11 games.
Draw to the right in the Toronto zone. Second power play of the game for the Knights. Chipped along the boards. Marner unable to clear, but it looks like Jake McCabe's going to be able to, and he lifts it off the near boards down the ice. Knights come to center and then drop it back. William Karlsson to center. He'll reach the Leaf blue line. Got it in on the left wing. Marchessault got it back to the point, then has it returned. Now to Theodore. Pass off a skate into the far corner. Banked by Stevenson, back of the net to the near side. Knights with it again. Marchessault to the point. Fanning on the shot. Oh, Marner was almost away to the races there as he tipped the puck. Carlson back to the blue line. Shot in traffic is swallowed up by Samsonov and held. Boy, Mitch Marner came ever so close to tipping that by the last man.
I thought it might have been a broken stick, and had it been, Marner would have been able to get it back. But was it Shea Theodore that seemed to fan on it? But I thought it was maybe stick was broken and he was going to have to drop it. And if that was the case, Marner would have been gone. But Theodore was able to get his stick out in front of it and keep it into the Leaf zone.
Yeah, he just fanned on the heel of it, I guess. Minute 9 in the power play. Leafs win the draw, and they'll rattle it off a stick down the ice. Almost a giveaway there to Nylander. Now the Golden Knights get it into the Leaf zone. A pass intercepted by Lagesson. He's going to send it out and bounce it down into Vegas territory. And after the puck goes Pontus Holmberg. He's got it up in the near corner. Now ragging it along the boards. Got it around back of the net. Does a nice job and gets a round of applause for his efforts as he heads to the bench. Barbashev in across the line. Got it down into the corner for Paul Cotter. Comes back towards the blue line. Matthews is there to steal it. Got it freed up, and it is lifted out at center ice then by Bobby McMahon. 16 seconds left in the power play. The Leafs have not had an opportunity with the man advantage. And they have been red hot. 2 for 2 in their last game and 10 of 19 in their last 6. Played around the boards. It'll come to the left wing side. Haig works it in. The penalty is expired. Centering pass goes off a skate. Morelli goes into the corner to get it back to the point. Long shot. Big pad save made by Samsonov. Leafs are able to get it off a skate and out at center ice. Samsonov has looked sharp, hasn't he? Tracking the puck extraordinarily well. Leafs in their own zone.
Made that huge save in the first period, too, going post to post.
Brought out by Brody. Up ahead for Tavares. Couldn't get it in deep. Turning with it now is Stevenson. Up on the wing. Good play by Bertuzzi to intercept. Tried to roll it ahead for Domi, but it was intercepted and sent down the ice. And that will require an icing call to come. The Leafs will entertain the Arizona Coyotes on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We'll have that action for you beginning, well, at 7 o'clock. Because that's when the game starts.
Technically 7:15. That's when the anthems end.
Yeah, but it's like a 7 o'clock start in all of the newspapers and stuff like that.
Puck drop 7:08. We're just
the
told.
game's at 7. All right, we'll be here.
The game doesn't start before it starts.
Shot by Domi is deflected and blocked. Kept in by the Leafs, and Tavares. He got a shot away, but that was blocked. And now Barbashev is bringing it out at center ice. The first time we've ever had an argument over start time. He's brought back now by the Golden Knights. Shot was blocked, and getting up slowly after that block was Bertuzzi. Another shot blocked there by goaltender Samsonov. Bertuzzi couldn't get it out. He's limping around there, and then a glove save and a good one made by Ilya Samsonov. And Sammy, they're on their feet.
A little extra on that, wasn't it? Johnny Bauer and Turk Broda be looking down for those banners, smiling as Samsonov flashes the leather from a shot from the top of the right wing circle.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, and Sammy in the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
2 good saves, 3 good saves, another shot, 4 good saves made.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
No score. 12:55 to go, second period.
By the way, why don't we throw it out now as we're scoreless? Last time the Leafs were shut out, 220 games ago. Here against the Pittsburgh Penguins and Tristan Jarry.
Do you know that guy's got famous just this year?
Tristan Jarry?
How many times have you utilized that little footnote over the course of this season?
I think overall about 220 times.
Tristan Jarry may be going to the Hall of Fame.
He's actually, the goaltending in Pittsburgh has been more than adequate. Alex Nedeljkovic and Tristan Jarry have both been solid.
McNabb off a face-off win, sends a shot towards the Leaf goal, bounces into the far corner. Camp got it back at the net. Good play then made there by the Leafs and banking it out at center, but it misfired for Holmberg. Marchessault will get it back into the Toronto zone. McCabe gets a little glance along the boards for Benoit, who was knocked down. The puck comes ahead at center. Matthews trying to work in over the line and then had it knocked off his stick. Marchessault back in on the near side, tied up by Benoit. In goes Camp to tie the puck up against the boards. Carlson has joined the fray, and Matthews is able to extricate it, and it's played around the boards to find Marner on the right wing with skating room. Marner to the red line. A pass in on the left wing, and hustling in after it is Morgan Riley trying to center, and a sprawling block made there by the defense in front of Alec Martinez. Martinez chipping it along the boards, and out come the Golden Knights to center. Brought in over the line, chipped in there by Fraze. It goes back of the net. The Leafs have it once more, and having to get his head up there was Matthews. Boy, he could have been right in the trolley tracks there. We're one of the few cities that can use that phrase. You know that.
Yes.
Brought to center then by Lagesson, but it bogs down and it's offside.
Well, they're not called trolleys anymore, though, are they? Now,
Well,
is that
streetcars?
Yeah, but where does that come from? Is that an
That
English?
I believe so, and yeah, it is now. You learn so much with this broadcast. You really do. History, geography.
I forget most of what I learned by around noon following day.
Hey, that's a record.
We're going to argue about times again, aren't we?
Offside at the Vegas blue line.
By the way, Jonathan Marchessault, for the third time in his career, has hit the 30-goal mark. Do you know, the Vegas Golden Knights, only 2 other players have scored 30 goals in a season. That was William Karlsson in the first season in Vegas Golden Knights history at 43.
Long shot by Domi is an easy catch for Aiden Hill.
And then Matt Pacioretty scored 32 goals in the 2019-20 season. So again, when you go back and look at what Austin Matthews is doing this year, do you remember Karlsson? It was like, man, this is amazing. A guy that was picked up in the waiver draft 40-goal season in Vegas. And the Leafs have a guy sitting on 52 already. We're not even into March.
Nylander won the draw. Shot by Domi. Here's a scramble in front of the net, and Bertuzzi couldn't get it, and now a breakaway pass. Barbashev is in alone. Scores! How did he end up being so far behind everyone when the Leafs were right on top of their goal?
He just took off to the middle of the ice when the scramble occurred. And this is where, though, Joe, one of the defensemen had got him to pick him up. Domi threw it to the net. There was this scramble in front, and Barbashev simply took off. Once Aiden Hill stopped the shot, Barbashev didn't even wait to see who jumped on the rebound. And he gets a long stretch breakaway pass. Goes in on Samsonov, goes backhand, forehand. I think this just gets over the right pad and under the blocker of Samsonov.
So, for the second game in a row, the Leafs have surrendered the opening goal on this 7-game winning streak. And it's cleared back down into the Toronto end. Played around on the boards to Tavares. Pushed ahead at center. Robertson couldn't reach it. Tavares has wheeled it into the zone. Goaltender out to stop it back of the net. Then McMahon is able to block a clearing pass. Oh, Robertson couldn't feather it out in front of the net, and he had Tavares waiting. The puck down the boards near side. Lagesson is able to pinch and keep it in. Back of the corner boards, it goes for Bobby McMahon. He's pulled down. The puck comes free on the near side, and it'll be the Golden Knights starting out. Pass ahead up on the left wing. The drop pass comes from Kolasar, and a shot pad, saving a good one made there by Samsonov. That springs Camp, who flips it in wide of the net, goes in after it. The puck comes around back of the net, banked out at center, and out into neutral ice. Camp gets it back down into the zone. Holmberg disrupting things back of the net. McCabe then got trapped in his zone, but a good piece of back checking done by Ryan Reeves is able to secure the puck for the Maple Leafs. And they get it up on the left wing with one man back. Falling down here, Benoit going to the net, and the backhand went wide. Great spot, great effort, wrong guy.
Third time, though, that he's had an opportunity jumping up into the play.
Willie Nylander or Austin Matthews probably make that at least a tough save to make. Now Matthews in over the line, dropping it back for Morgan Riley. Riley into the left wing corner for Nyes. He stops, gives it back to Marner, who settles. Marner stops on a dime in the corner, fakes a backhand pass, now to Matthews, and that was drifted at the net and stopped. Puck kept in by Marner momentarily, but it comes out at center ice. In comes Matthews to steal the puck a couple of times, and Marner turns it back up ice for Riley. Riley will just shoot it in. Around the boards to the far side, Pietrangelo being pressured there. 1-0 in favor of the Golden Knights. Back of the net, hauled down was Marner. He has a look at the referee, but nothing coming as far as a whistle. Lagesson to center with a pass, knocked down with a high stick.
No, I think that was the puck.
Bertuzzi, or was it the puck?
Yeah, I think the Vegas defender redirects it right before it gets to Bertuzzi. Alec Martinez, a defenseman. And, I don't know, is Bertuzzi cut? Makes his way over to the Leaf bench. We will see if he goes right to the room for some repairs.
Well, so far just staying at the bench as we go to this commercial break. 1-0 in favor of Vegas. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
MLB Network Radio gets you ready for opening day with a tour of spring training.
Baseball is back.
Hear interviews with all-stars.
This is Smokey Betts.
This is Matt Olson.
I'm Adley Rutschman. I'm Aaron Judge.
And insight and analysis of all 30 teams.
When I look at this rotation, I see it competing with some of the best rotations in baseball.
Listen to your favorite team's preview show on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89 in the car, or anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastion won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Coolius and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson. And for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Vegas Golden Knights on a goal by Barbashev. His 14th from Amadio and Theodore at 9-11 is what is on the board. Face-off outside the Vegas blue line. They come in with a record of 13-10-5 on the road. 32-19-7, 71 points. 3 less than the Maple Leafs. The Leafs' home record is the concerning thing. Is a long shot. Scores! Oh, my! All right. That one needed to be stopped.
That might have been redirected right in front. Morelli might have been the guy that got a stick on it before it got to the Leaf net. Morelli's the youngster who scored in his first ever NHL game a couple of weeks ago in a 4-0 win over San Jose. Boy, is this maybe close to being a high stick? I know they're going to be looking at this over on the Leaf bench. But Vegas just dumps it in and goes after it and gets it. Yeah, this was right in front of Ilya Samsonov. But how high is it? No. But waist high.
Waist high, yep.
And nobody really there to tie his stick up. So Vegas dumps it in, goes after it, throws it to the point, throws it to the net, and scores. And the Leafs never touch the puck. And now they find themselves, as they were in Colorado, down 2-0, but not with as much time to work with.
Second goal of the season. Jimmy, you mentioned his first NHL goal coming in his first game. And it's played out at center ice, and the Leafs go back. Benoit banking it off the boards through center, knocked down by McNabb, played in on the right wing side. Good hit there by Benoit, knocked his man down, but the puck in the slot area is blocked. And now Robertson gives the puck away, and it's around back of the net. Stolen back by Toronto. Flip to the line, and
I think it's a penalty.
Well, nothing yet. Although, no, the official is there.
Number 74 has 2 minutes for delay game.
Third power play without a effort for the Maple Leafs, and McMahon is in the box.
It was a delayed game penalty that ultimately was the difference between the Leafs and Colorado. Mikko Rantanen threw one over the glass late in the third period, and Tyler Bertuzzi completed the hat trick. And the Leafs got out of Denver with a 4-3 win. Now, for the same reason, they're going to have to try to kill this off.
Theodore gets the lone assist on the Morelli goal. He has 2 points on the night. The Leafs win the draw. Marner skates it to center, now looking over his shoulder. Still has it, works down into the corner. Had it into the far corner, but then lost it as it was knocked off his stick. And turning with it is Shea Theodore to get it out at center. And then stolen. Marner working in on the right side. Closes in. The drop pass. And it is covered up by Aiden Hill.
Boy, that, not close to being a hold is, I don't know if Marner was trying to drop it or drag it around Aiden Hill. Might have been just poked off his stick. That's actually a great defensive play by Shea Theodore. He gets the arm out to try to steer Mitch Marner to one side, and when Marner tries to cut from his right to his left across the top of the crease, Theodore is there, and Aiden Hill was able to jump on it. But Mitch Marner looked dangerous that whole sequence, didn't he?
He sure did. He has one shorthanded goal. The Leafs have 6. Puck goes back down into the Toronto zone, but McCabe is there, and he is going to launch it all the way down the ice. Hill will backhand it around behind his goal, and the Knights go back to recover the puck. Minute 18 to go in the power play. Brought to center ice by Cotter. Laid into the left wing corner. Stood up there by Benoit. Benoit, who's had 2 of the best scoring chances the Leafs have mustered in this game. Ties it up against the wall. Puck is dug free. It's centered in front of the net, and a shot went just wide. Rebound left wing side, Cotter. Played it back to the blue line. Unable to tip it there was Holmberg. The puck along the boards in the near side. Chipped in by Nicholas Roy into the corner. Nylander trying to dig it out. It comes back to the blue line. Cotter over on the right wing side, and a shot knocked down there by Samsonov, and the rebound is shoveled towards the net, and Samsonov is there to cover up. 38 seconds left to go in the 3rd consecutive power play opportunity for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, in fairness, last one is just automatic, isn't it? Then the Leafs took one in Colorado, delay a game in the first period. Saw Rantanen took one in the 3rd. One thing, I mean, the rule was put in. I think Jerry Cheevers probably had a big part of it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he always used to fire it over the glass to get a whistle.
Pass to the near side, kept alive. Marchessault back to the point. Long shot in traffic, went wide off the stick of Theodore. Looking back for Theodore, it comes instead to Carlson. Carlson back in behind the net. Amadio got it back to the point. Stevenson to the near side, and a shot in traffic knocked down, and the Leafs are going to get free of it, and Matthews is skating it out, but he's surrounded at that point. Now sends it off on the far wing.
I think the Leafs are getting another penalty. I think there's an interference call coming up. Toronto had control of the puck.
What do you know?
Well, I know the Leafs had the puck when the whistle went.
Yeah, but you don't know about who got the penalty.
Well, following the game as I have over the years, usually the whistle does not go until the team getting the penalty touches the puck.
Really? I had no idea.
I am well aware. I'll walk you through some of the hooking things.
We got 5 minutes left in this period. Maybe you could explain the rule book to me again at the end of the frame. That would be helpful.
I still on the replay. I've not seen where Vegas touched the puck.
So the Leafs will go to the power play in 2 seconds' time. And Pietrangelo works it out at center, and it's brought down to the Leaf blue line. Long shot, blockered away, a rebound, knocked just wide of the Leaf net. And Toronto now with the power play being brought out with a pass ahead for Nylander. Nylander slides it back for Marner. Marner looks for Matthews, but carries it through neutral ice. Off on the wing, it goes to Willie. Nylander in front for Matthews. That was from the rebound. Oh, and a chance Bertuzzi had there. Back to the point, it goes to Riley. He walks the line. Off on the wing to Nylander. Nylander looking in front of the net for Bertuzzi, who's high in the slot. Got it to him, but he couldn't get a shot away. And in fact, the puck comes all the way to center. Think you'd rather have Bertuzzi down lower and Marner there, wouldn't you? Here's Marner at the red line, dropping for Matthews. Matthews stick handles in over the line, got it in for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi against the boards to Marner. Marner back down low, a centering pass, and that was intercepted and shot down the ice by the Golden Knights. 50 seconds left in the power play. Morgan Riley got it ahead. Saucered back for Marner. Marner dropping for Matthews. Matthews to the line. Riley got upset. Could have been a penalty there. Now Matthews trying to get it into the slot area. They bang away at it. Bertuzzi around back of the goal. Sends it back to Marner. Marner holds. Down low it goes to Willie. Nylander to the point now for Riley to Matthews. A shot. Sharp angle. And Hill is there to cover up on it and hold on.
A lot of opportunities in the power play, but it was one of those that everything just tipped off his stick before it got to the intended target. Tyler Bertuzzi, probably the best opportunity on a rebound. And last play, though, Austin Matthews, and we've seen him score from this area on a regular basis. Right at the bottom of the left wing, or the right wing circle. On his off wing, trying to throw it to the net.
Probably about time to mention that Aiden Hill has had 2 shutouts this season, 7 over his career. As the pass comes back to Domi and a shot in traffic went off a leg. Giordano sends it back towards the front of the net, but it is knocked away. And it's going to be cleared high out and down the ice, and that will negate the remainder of the power play.
That's a huge kill for Vegas here late in the second.
2-0 Vegas. Pass up the middle. Domi working in on the left wing. Got a shot away, and Hill was able to get low and stop that. Down the boards, it comes in front of the net. Back to the point, and the shot deflected by Domi. Oh, he made a nice little redirect there and went over the crossbar and into the screen. And Domi has a word with Hill on the way out. Whether did that hit you? Because there was a pretty good chance. 2:46 to play here in the second period. 2-0 Vegas. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face-off coming in the Vegas zone.
Tamaris centering Matthews and Marner here.
And the draw scrum, but it comes back to the point. Riley off to the far side from Marner. Top of the circles, threw it towards the net. It was intercepted. Marner is playing defense now as the Knights break it in on the left wing with a pass back. Oh, and it was just went wide of the net. Back comes Tavares through neutral ice. Tried to get it back to Matthews and does. Wrist shot deflects and has gone up into the screen and out of play.
And that's Marner, who scored from long range in Colorado. Tries it again, but once it got knocked down, TJ Brody had left the point to sneak down the far boards. So that's why when the puck was blocked, Mitch Marner was one of the 2 players in blue jerseys to have to scramble back.
Tyler Bertuzzi, no worse to wear for that deflection. And back onto the ice. Face off to the left of Aiden Hill, the Comox, British Columbia native, 27 years of age, 6'4", 215.
And what a run he had in the postseason for the Golden Knights.
Drafted by Arizona in the 3rd round. Leafs win the draw. McCabe steps in, down low, a pass and scores! Tyler Bertuzzi is red hot!
Bertuzzi had gone 19 without a goal, and now has scored 4 of the Leafs' last 5. As he takes a page out of the Austin Matthews book. Gets the puck in the circle to the left of the Vegas goaltender, deep below the face-off dot. Looks off as if he's going to throw it to the front of the net, and then turns and spins, and Joey gets a break. This goes off the skate of Alex Martinez and through the pads of Aiden Hill. There was just that change of direction that allowed it to get through, and a huge goal for the Leafs. They don't score in the power play, but Bertuzzi banks one in here late, his 11th of the year, to make it 2-1.
Played back towards the blue line, but the Golden Knights get it out on the left wing. Cotter with a shot from an angle is swallowed up there by Samsonov. And with 1:58 left in the period, it will be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. McCabe and Nylander with the assists on the goal. And for Bertuzzi, his 11th of the season. And as you quite accurately mentioned, 4th in 2 games.
And again, you say it's the additional ice time because he earned it? Or has it allowed him to feel better about his game to play more?
Played out at center ice, bouncing puck to the Vegas blue line, controlled by the Golden Knights. Roy in across the line, loses it there, and Giordano playing it back for Lagesson. Lagesson got it to the blue line, but not out. Played back in along the boards and back of the net around to the far corner. Played off the boards, but the Leafs don't clear. Down into the corner, now a dangerous try here, and a shot went off a leg and it went wide. Rebound, pushed to center ice finally by Reeves. Can't get it into the zone, and we have a whistle here. Hand pass, I believe. Yep. So it'll be brought back. Bertuzzi from McCabe and Nylander at 17:45.
Nice bizarre stat. The Leafs against the Western Conference this year, 22-5-2. And they've actually won 10 straight games against the West since their last loss was in Vancouver, 6-4. In fact, their 2 losses on the road against Western teams this year were on that trip. Lost to Edmonton, beat Calgary, and then lost to Vancouver before winning Seattle. Got them back to Toronto.
The hat trick the other night for Bertuzzi was his 3rd of his career. Played through center. Now Marner trying to get a bouncing puck to behave, but couldn't. And a pass up on the left wing springs William Karlsson. Karlsson has it knocked off his stick, and Tavares is able to get back. And now he's in a fight for it in along the boards in the Toronto zone. Played it back. A centering pass. Scores! John Tavares made a bad decision. Instead of playing it around behind his own goal where he had support, he tried to play it up the boards. It was intercepted, centered in front of the net, and William Karlsson is there to tap it home and restore the 2-goal lead. And Tavares wanted to break that stick of his over the goal post, but refrained from doing so.
When I'm watching the replay, I mean, he's outmanned 2-1 in the corner, so there was no support. No help for Tavares. So it was almost as if whatever he decided to do was probably going to be trouble, and Austin Matthews was just late getting to his man in front before the shot was fired and slipped 5-hole on Ilya Samsonov. Tavares is upset, but like I said, there was no help coming.
20th of the year for Karlsson. Leafs keep the puck in on the boards on the near side. A Bertuzzi shot was steered wide of the net by Hill. And the Knights are going to get it into the center ice area.
Do you think if Tavares is outnumbered 2-1 in the corner,
someone's got to be...
Well, yeah, you should have better coverage in front then. Would you not agree? I think everybody was assuming if Tavares wins the battle, they were going to take off.
Now Bertuzzi working in on the left wing. Dropped the puck back for Domi, but it was out of his reach. And it is flipped to center ice and to the Leaf zone. Bertuzzi, with 4 seconds left in the period, just going to circle back in his own end, and time is going to run out. So after a scoreless first, the Vegas Golden Knights score 3. The Maple Leafs just get the 1, and it's a 2-goal hill to climb for the Maple Leafs in the third period, outshot, or even in shots, at 20 apiece.
Yep, Vegas really, the last the 2 goals in the second period were pretty simple, weren't they? Dump it in, go after it, and look for a break. One is on a redirection in front of Samsonov, and the other is Tavares losing the battle to produce the Karlsson goal.
Marchessault draws the lone assist on the Karlsson goal. It is 3-1. He'll step aside. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's fantasy baseball season, and Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you draft a winning team.
Gone for Ronald Acuna.
Labor, the League of Alternative Baseball Realities auction-style drafts. Friday at 7 Eastern. The top experts in the fantasy industry are drafting against each other.
I'm curious where you come in on Ellie De La Cruz.
Upside is top 5. Jim Bowden, Jeff Erickson, and Ray Flowers bring you pick-by-pick analysis, player projections, and more. Labor, Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastion won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season, and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. And Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on SiriusXM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs win the draw. McCabe steps in, down low, a pass and scores! Tyler Bertuzzi is red hot!
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trailing 3-1 after 40 minutes to the Vegas Golden Knights at Scotiabank Arena. And, that first period was tight. It was a 0-0 tie going into the first intermission. And we thought, okay, maybe a bit of a slow start. Will look like Vegas picked it up and the Leafs are left in their dust.
Yeah, it seems safe to say that chip that the Maple Leafs have been carrying on their shoulder since Morgan Riley got suspended for taking out Ridley Gregg has dissolved. Like, it just doesn't seem or feel like the same thing. Yeah, crunched. Swallowed up, whatever you want to do with that chip. It just doesn't feel like the team is playing with the same pop. It just feels a little lifeless, feels a little listless, does not feel like the same attention to detail is there. We've seen Sheldon Keefe go to the blender the back half of that period. We talk so much about, hey, 3 lines. Wow, look at this. Like, it's a new world here for the Maple Leafs with more people contributing because you've spread the wealth. And, 15 minutes in that second period, 35 minutes total in this game, and you've abandoned it already. Not to say that he shouldn't do that. It's just clearly he thought there needed to be a change after we thought there was such positive change over the last 7 games.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I guess, positive line shuffling had to do with John Tavares moving down to the third center role and helping spread out some of this offense and give some guys some promotions. And he was, one of the main culprits so far of this period or this game that hasn't been performing well. That last goal that Vegas gets to skate off the ice, and getting a goal near the end of the period always sucks. It's bad momentum. You go into the dressing room pissed off. John Tavares had an opportunity to get the puck out or get it out of harm's way, and he kind of just gave it up right into Vegas's territory, right in front of the net, and they got a puck in the net, and he wanted to smash his stick, and you saw some frustration from him. And I'm not.
Then he broke it more quietly on the bench.
Yes, and then he did break it more quietly. We praised him in our pregame show for being a leader.
Did we praise him or do we just point it out?
I praised him a little bit for being able to get demoted as the captain of this team to the third line and not let it negatively affect his body language. Well, I don't think that's the reason why he was pissed off on the bench. It was clearly because he gave the puck away to the Vegas Golden Knights. But over the stretch, Tavares getting less opportunity, I think it's been so important for this Leafs team. And, it's not like he doesn't deserve a lot of flowers for just being able to do his job. But that's what you're wearing the C for, just quietly going about your business, giving other people an opportunity. And that line was looking really, really good over the last 7 games. And a lot of it had to do with just him not being the driver of offense on a second line, giving some other guys an opportunity. And it's too bad that today now, he's one of the reasons that they get a goal, Vegas. But I did think that was a respectful period of time. I wonder if that's come to an end, if Sheldon Keefe starts doing line configurations. But yeah, I did give him a little bit of praise.
Yeah, I really don't hope they don't abandon it based on what's been 1 bad game or 2 bad periods so far. But I think to your point, maybe you're a bit you've accepted this demotion, but are you a little bit more irritable? You make a mistake like that and the underlying baseline frustration that you're carrying just a little bit because, hey, you're not playing on the first power play anymore and you're not playing with one of the core 4 members anymore and you're expected to lift Bobby McMahon and Nick Robertson on a third line that's playing 15 minutes a night.
Yeah, you shouldn't show that frustration in ways like that. It
exactly.
should be digging harder for pucks.
Exactly. What you want most out of the captain is a guy who does not change even remotely just because he's been given a lesser role. Yeah. And again, he made a mistake. He was frustrated. It happens. You make mistakes. You get frustrated every now and then when you play the sport. But I wonder if John Tavares is a little bit more frustrated than he's leading on.
It kind of looked like it. And maybe that's just in the moment, but it was something that we noted going off the ice there. Unfortunately, they have a 3-1 deficit to climb out of in the third period. But Tyler Bertuzzi, red hot. The guys was a massive, massive discussion for the first, 30 to 40 games of this season. And he finds a way out. I remember that first goal he got, whether Austin Matthews shot it off of his stick or not. Maybe it did unlock something, and it's always fun to glamorize what the monkey off the back could mean. But we've seen a different Tyler Bertuzzi. I will give him credit as well. I'm just giving lots of credit tonight. But I did think during that stretch where he had not scored in X thousand of games, he kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and his effort level was high, and it was just on the cusp. He gets one. He gets 3. He's now scored in a bunch of games for the Maple Leafs, and he got another one tonight.
The dam breaks. The dam breaks for the birthday boy who celebrated a hat trick over the weekend and his birthday. It's just like it's almost too predictable sometimes. When one goes in, when you start feeling better about yourself, when you get promoted not because you're scoring, but because you're playing hard and well, and then the offense follows suit, and that's just a lucky bounce. Tyler Bertuzzi didn't earn that goal like he earned or at the same level as he earned opportunities that he didn't convert on just a couple weeks ago, but he gets it and he keeps rolling. And that despite, there's a flip side to everything. Tavares may be struggling and not even struggling, just like Tavares going through it and he's going through his own thing. And the flip side is that Bertuzzi gets more opportunity, and Bertuzzi, even if he gets a lucky bounce, is taking advantage of it.
Let's take a quick break.
Let's do it.
All right. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier, because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Take 2 men on a truck, 2 men on a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 men on a truck, 2 men on a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 3-1 after 40 minutes to the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Let's do it. 8 of the 12 games underway in addition to the Golden Knights leading the Maple Leafs 3-1. The Panthers have a 2-1 lead over these Sabres. It's 2-1 Canadians leading the Coyotes. Both those games end of 2. Also end of 2, 1-1 Flyers and Lightning. It's 5-2 Red Wings over the Capitals. 2-1 Predators over the Senators. 3-1 the Jets lead the Blues. and the Wild have a 2-1 advantage over the Hurricanes. Still to come tonight, Flames and Kings in the Pacific Division, Stars and Avalanche in the Central Division, Penguins and Canucks, and the Devils and Sharks.
The only last thing we have time to quickly touch on is Samsonov let in a couple savable goals in that period. Not the Samsonov of the last couple of weeks, even though we praised him in the first intermission.
Sure, I'm not like no, I don't think it was awful by any stretch
There's
of
one
the
bad
imagination.
one. The points that just
the third
floated
one
in there, yeah.
Third one was not great. You want to make that
The
save.
one from the point shot, that was kind of
tipped in front, though.
Okay.
I didn't like the third one. I mean, it's end of game. You mentioned it. That's kind of deflating, right? If we come up with a big save there,
that would have been great.
Maybe we're feeling and thinking differently about the third period, but right now the mountain is rather steep.
All right, Maple Leafs 20 minutes left to try to tie this thing up. Maybe send it OT. We'll see. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Feel the thrill of the open road and the frosty chill of winter. With sounds specially selected for hitting the slopes or cruising through the snow. Miles and miles of Black Diamond anthems that'll make you shiver. Ski Trip, a road trip radio mixtape, now on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on SiriusXM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
Two-goal hill to climb and 20 minutes to try and do it as the Maple Leafs trail the Vegas Golden Knights by a score of 3-1. Barbashev on a breakaway, Morelli, and then Carlson to close out the scoring after Tyler Bertuzzi had got the Leafs on the board and cut the margin in half at 2-1. Carlson from Marchessault at 19:09 has them out in front, 3-1.
I like that, though. Hill decline. Aiden Hill, goalie in Vegas.
You know, during the intermission, I don't just stand out there and do nothing like you know, telling jokes and doing stuff like that. I think of things to do.
How do you know
I'm really
what I'm doing?
surprised I did that.
How do you know what I'm doing? You're watching me.
I pay attention.
See, I was giving you props.
I know. It wasn't warranted, but it was nice of you to do it anyway. Thank you. Leafs to the right, and the Vegas Golden Knights to the left as it's down into the Knight zone, but McCabe overskated the puck. It's punched back out at center ice. Morgan Riley and TJ Brody are -3 in this game. Now here's Nyes trying to work the boards. Got some assistance there from Marner. Marner spinning it back to the blue line. Brody to the far side, now to Marner. Marner in the middle of the ice, got a weak shot away. It was deflected over top of the net. Brought on by a shot there by Matthews that went wide. Nylander off the bench, down into the corner, centering pass. Matthews spins and shoots. That didn't work, and it's cleared out into the center ice area. Austin Matthews has had 2 shots on goal and 5 attempts at goal in the first 2 periods, and he had a couple of opportunities there as an icing call comes against Vegas.
I mentioned back in the first period, the first 4 or 5 minutes, the Leafs had all kinds of offensive zone time, looked sharp. And then the game started to even out, and can't say other than the power play opportunities, there's maybe, 2 or 3 great chances that the Leafs had that they weren't able to cash in on.
Draw one by Toronto, off the boards into the corner. Nylander centers! And a shot by Domi went off a stick and went harmlessly wide. Vegas counters and sends it down into the Leaf end. Hustling after it, Marchessault. Puck around the boards brought on by Nylander. Nylander to the line and in along with Bertuzzi, and a shot. That was stopped. The rebound is knocked ahead and off the bench, and a breakaway chance. Amadio in! And a good save made by Samsonov, but an equally good play by Riley to get back to disrupt the break. Lead pass. Across the line, Nylander. Nylander in for Domi. Domi goes around back of the net. Secures the puck back to the left wing side. Giordano, a shot in traffic. Where's the puck? It's underneath the goaltender, but knocked back of the net. Vegas get it out at center. Chip it in over the line. That could have been the die cast there. A breakaway opportunity that...
And Simon Benoit did not see the Vegas player coming off the bench. Cut behind him.
Now the Knights get it into the corner. Giordano got it freed up. Tavares lifting it high to center, but it was in behind Bobby McMahon. Now Giordano will regroup it. Rink wide finds Robertson. Robertson down the board, sending it into the corner, and Tavares hustles in there after it. Robertson trying to secure the puck. Pinching down there was Brody, but it's knocked out into the center ice area. Leafs have it scrummed up against the boards, but Vegas comes away with it. White Cloud will play it ahead at center. Knifed in over the line by Paul Cotter. But McCabe is there for Toronto. Saucered up ahead for Brody. Off the boards for Holmberg. Up ahead for Reeves. And the 4th line goes into the forecheck. McNabb bodied in there, so is the defenseman as Reeves got there, but then Morgan Riley unable to keep the puck in at the near point. He'll start back at center, though. Up on the left wing, David Camp from an angle. Weak shot was well wide of the goal. Punt is Holmberg trying to play it back to the point. Nowhere near Simon Benoit, and it's all the way down into the Leaf end. Spread around the boards to the near side. Hustling after it was Holmberg. Secured then by Matthews, and now Benoit starts to center and he pumps it in. Around the wall, it'll come to the near side to Matthews. Matthews around back of the net. Matthews into the corner. Trying to center, it comes to Marner in the near corner. Marner closes. Shot was just wide. Rebound in front of the goal. And unable to get a stick on it was Nyes. Giordano down low in the corners. It comes back to the blue line. Lagesson off the boards into the corner to Matthews, stepping out with a shot, and it went high over top of the net. Around back of the net for Matthews to Marner. Marner down the boards, let it be, and it comes back to him at the point. Matthews over to the near side. Giordano looking for a nice redirect that didn't happen. Kept into the corner, centering pass. Chipped over now for Giordano. A shot! And that's over top of the goal. Good pressure by Toronto. Giordano once more to Lagesson. Shooting! Down is Hill.
Boy, the most dominant shift of the game for the first line. Unfortunately, the guy that seems to deliver the puck to the net last have been the likes of Benoit and now Lagesson. As Aiden Hill has weathered an early storm, much like he did in the opening period. Leafs out shooting the Golden Knights 25-21. But still trailed by a couple. 15:35 to go here in the third.
The Leafs drove Hill from the game in Vegas, but
yeah, the first period on 3 goals.
He's been outstanding here tonight.
Although Logan Thompson ended up taking the loss because Vegas ended up scoring 3 goals, so Thompson was in goal for the game winner.
Cross scrummed in the circle to the right, and Vegas comes out of the scrum with White Cloud getting it into neutral ice. Played to the left wing side. Marchessault tried to get to it. Carlson had it bounce in front of the net. Leafs lose it. And another shot. And that went just wide on the far side. Back to the blue line. Marchessault walks the line. Let a shot go that was just wide on the near side. The Leafs play it out at center too far, but Nylander is going to be offside.
Boy,
the fans are upset.
I think it's icing.
I think it's icing, but the arm was up. He was definitely offside. And because the pass was all the way back in the Leaf end, it's going to come back into the Toronto zone. It'll look like an icing, but it really was offside.
Interesting to see.
Not often we have to, be on the official side to explain something on their behalf.
I think we have to do a lot of explaining on their behalf.
Bouncing puck centered in front of the goal. Another shot stopped by Samsonov. He's sprawled out, and the puck goes into the corner. Now back to the point. Another shot. Knocked ahead. A rebound in front of the goal, and Samsonov is going to stop play by sprawling out on it.
Boy, it looked like a game of 6-year-olds in front of the net, didn't it? Nobody could seem to get a handle on it. And Vegas gets 2 or 3 whacks at it as the Leafs booted around in front of their own net. And for Ilya Samsonov, this hasn't been an easy game. I mentioned the breakaway goal. Mid-air deflection on a point shot. And then the third one was 5-hole after the Leafs turned it over in the corner.
Benoit was being held without a penalty call. Now here's Vegas getting it back into the zone. Down into the corner goes Michael Amadio. It comes free. Backhanded to the line by Robertson, but not cleared. Down into the corner and around the boards, it'll find McNabb on the left boards. Back to the point it goes. Long shot intercepted, and it is pushed ahead then by Benoit. To the left wing side, McMahon chipped into the corner for Tavares, but he overskates it. And now a turnover and a pass in front of the goal. Unable to get a shot away, though, was Tavares. As Giordano made the intercept right at the blue line. Leafs are changing. 13:58 to go. Third period. Down a pair. Up ahead now for David Kampf. Flipped into the left wing corner and then goes Holmberg, but the pass comes around the wall and down the ice, and a race for the puck out of the net to play it away, though, is Samsonov. His man was going to be beaten on the icing. Long shot goes wide of the Leaf goal, and Lagos into the left wing boards. He'll get it to the line and out. Reeves and Holmberg free it up. Off the boards then for Kampf and tipped into the zone. Pontus Holmberg in pursuit, but the pass comes around the far side. And Rempel will get it down into the Leaf end, and a big hit there by McCabe. Back into the corner now for Brody. Brody to Reeves. Ahead for McCabe. Tried to spin it in over the line for Nyes, but it bogged down. And offside has been whistled down. 13:07 left to play in the third period. 3-1 Vegas. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To show what they've got at the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine.
Deep down the middle of the field, Marvin Harrison's going to take it to the house.
Tune in for exclusive interviews with GMs, head coaches, and the top prospects as they prepare for the NFL Draft.
You put the tape on, they're good football players, so sometimes it helps. You kind of know what you're getting.
Coverage kicks off Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Vegas 3, the Leafs 1. And the Leafs offense that had been cooking along with regularity through the course of their road trip has dried up a little bit here and in need of a little shot in the arm. Marner couldn't get it out on the far side. Played ahead and chipped by Riley down into the Vegas end, but Martinez is there to launch it high to center to the Leaf blue line. Played back in now by Vegas into the corner. Rempel tried to get it in front of the net, but was too well covered. Shot dot, grabbed off then by Marner, dropped back to the Leaf defense, and now Nyes on the left wing gets to the line and will play it in deep. No support, though, as the Leafs are in the midst of a change. Played out at center, pass intercepted by Toronto, and Nylander. One hands it down into the zone. Willie's stationed at 79 points on the season. His record is 87 that he had a couple of years ago. Played back down into the Toronto end. Brought back now by McCabe. McCabe for Domi out of his reach. Vegas with it again, and they're doing a good job of really knocking things down in the center ice area. Nylander will try it again. On to Domi on the left wing, and then on the wing with a shot, but it's right into the crest of Adin Hill. And he had no trouble hauling that in and then stopping play with 11 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the period.
So you see, though, how good the Vegas defense is, as the Leafs have had very little from the danger area in the slot. Had a couple of scrambles, haven't been able to get sticks on, but when you went through that road trip, well, even the 7-game winning streak, coming into this game, they outscored the opposition 38-17. And Vegas certainly looks a lot sharper defensively tonight.
Nylander with the draw, and a shot on goal. The rebound was swatted at and knocked away. Nylander around back of the net in front of the goal. Just cleared away. Goaltender without his stick, though. Now he's got it back. Here's pass back to the blue line. Lagesson on the wing, a shot, and that was wide. Tavares down around back of the net. Trying to free it up, and is backhanded out and down the ice, but it won't have enough to go for icing. Those kinds of scrambles the Leafs were scoring on, weren't they, during the winning streak? Shot back into the Toronto end. Lagesson around back of the net for Giordano. Mark Giordano around back of the goal. The veteran defender waits for teammates to change. The Matthews line coming over the boards. We're going to see a lot of them here in the final 10 minutes, I would imagine. Pass ahead for Marner, nicely handled. Brought in over the line. Tried to get it around back of the net. Nyes covered up on it. Marner tried to center, but it's deflecting high into the near corner. Matthews in against the boards. Has the puck come to the blue line and poked out at center ice. Benoit back in for Nyes. Drop for Matthews. Man going to the front of the net. Oh, the chance Riley had. And he deflected it just wide. Marner unable to center. Cleared up on the wing. Kept alive for Matthews. Marner again against the boards. Marner knocked down on the play. And it's brought by Amadio to center. The way the Leafs are pushing, you can almost smell a power play coming around the corner. Pass ahead for Bertuzzi. Can't get it ahead. Looking for Robertson, Nylander, who was breaking. And now an offside at the Toronto blue line will stop play and send us to a commercial message. The Leafs trail 3-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier, because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi! That was up the rebound. Scores! Max Domi!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Vegas Golden Knights lead the game 3-1. Half third period is in the books. 9:52 to play.
I like the push that the Leafs have had here. You just sort of get the feeling the big line has got to poke through at some point.
28-23 shots favoring Toronto. They were dead even at 20 apiece. As the puck goes to Bertuzzi in the right wing corner, he swings it in front of the net. It's quickly intercepted there by Pietrangelo and played out at center and down into the Leaf end. Brody back of the goal, into the corner for McCabe. Return to Brody, who goes around back of the net. Got it up on the wing, but it was intercepted there by Pietrangelo. A centering pass that went off a stick, and now Nylander can't get it out. Played high off a glove into the corner. Vegas trying to come to the front of the net. A backhand hits the goalpost. Rebound, scores. A scramble goal, and the Golden Knights get it. Marchessault chops it home to make it 4-1, and that might just put the light in the candle out.
And for Marchessault, a career-high goal number 31. But again, all four goals, you can point to the Leafs self-destructing a little bit. Leafs are looking at it. I don't know if they thought the puck might have come out over top the line or if there was a high stick that knocked it down by Pietrangelo. But it was Max Domi tried to deflect it. The Leafs might challenge this simply because of the score and the time left. But when Max Domi tried to tip it up the left wing boards, Pietrangelo knocked it down with an elevated stick. Now, I don't know whether it was above the shoulders or not. And that's a very difficult one to try to get reversed on video.
And at this point, they're not going to do that. So at 9:10 to play in the third period, the Maple Leafs trail in the hockey game 4-1. Played down into the Toronto end. Wrapped around the boards then for Lagesson. He'll get it ahead, and the relay up on the right side for Reeves. Gets down into the corner. Reeves against the boards, trying to cycle it back to the net, and it's quickly played out now by Vegas, who will shoot it in. Around the wall to the near side. Played by the Vegas Golden Knights out at center. They lost in overtime to the Ottawa Senators in a shootout, I guess it was, wasn't it, Jimmy, the other night?
Yeah, it was definitely extra time. Not sure if it had gone to the shootout.
Riley on the left wing.
Or maybe Stützle had the winner in the shootout.
They have Boston, Buffalo, and Columbus on the horizon on this Road trip, centering pass was stopped by Hill. Around back of the net, comes back up on the wing. Leafs get it freed up. Tavares getting into a shooting position, but had it deflect off a stick and go harmlessly wide. Kept in then by Robertson. Bobby McMahon can't come up with the loose puck, and now here the Knights getting it out at center ice with 7:37 left to play in the period. Amadio with a long shot, stopped by Samsonov as it comes back to Whitecloud. His shot to the side of the goal, kicked away. A rebound swallowed up by the Leaf netminder. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
Other than the obvious switches, only one goal scored by the Leafs. I mean, the 4 against have all really been on individual miscues, which were rather significant. You know, you've got the puck in your own zone, you can't get it out. 2 dump-ins. Yeah, looking at the Pietrangelo one again, I mean, I think it's a high stick, Joe. I think that's above his shoulders when he makes contact. I'm a little surprised the Leafs didn't challenge that.
Really close, though. Yeah, and the score,
like I said, yeah.
Yeah, might as well give it a shot, right?
Yep.
Nyes trying to flip the puck ahead. Too far and too high for Marner. Matthews had that go right off his nose and deflect down into the zone. And now it's sent down into Toronto territory. Laid around the boards and out. The old adage about the long road trip and coming home, and I wouldn't say it was a stinker, but the offense certainly dried up, didn't it?
It's almost as if the first 5 minutes decided the game. Leafs had chances, couldn't score.
Domi gets it down into the offensive zone, and the Golden Knights will come to center and play it down into the Toronto end. 6 minutes and 29 seconds to play, third period. The Golden Knights 4, the Maple Leafs 1. And the Leafs' home ice record is astonishing. This will be 15, 11, and 2. And how much better they are on the road. Across the line, Bertuzzi. He has the lone goal, got it into the slot area. No one there to take advantage, and the Knights quickly get it back out at center ice. Riley for Benoit. Up on the right side, and it's going to be called offside. Pontus Holmberg couldn't control the puck and then put himself offside. Marchessault gets the goal, and the assist goes to Carlson. And it is 4-1 in favor of the Golden Knights. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A new generation of hip-hop superstars.
Let's do it.
Were born on SoundCloud.
Just Sleepy Hollow. Originally chopped.
Stay connected to what's popping online now.
Bro, hold on. Let me talk.
A SiriusXM channel where new hip-hop is always on. SoundCloud Radio. Now, for a limited time on Channel 79 and always on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Ashton won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent.
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Golden Knights 4, the Maple Leafs 1. Third period winding down, 5:46.
I think if you do a quick scan, there might be 12,000 people here that still believe there might be a comeback. Everyone else may be, they're probably not even listening to the radio right now in the car.
Hi, everyone. Played against the boards and pushed to the Leaf blue line, but not out. Now it does come free, and with one man back, the Leafs have a 2-on-1 breaking. Pontus Holmberg in over the line, a pass, and they score! Ryan Reeves finishes! From the little acorn through the mighty oak.
Start watering it. But this is Pontus Holmberg with great patience coming down the left wing side, and Ryan Reeves, who has been very noticeable since the All-Star break, takes off and beats his man to the far post. And that was Braden McNabb. Holmberg looks up, throws it across to Reeves, who shovels it into the empty side on Aiden Hill. And it's 4-2 with 5:25 to go here in the third.
Third goal of the season for Reeves. Holmberg makes a great play on the 2-on-1. And now here's a chance going the other way for Vegas, and they fire it over top of the goal. Centering pass in the Toronto end. Marner is able to come away with the loose puck. Got it up ahead for Brody. Brody, a pass deflects in from McCabe. McCabe along the boards. Got it freed up for Marner. Marner back for Matthews, who's around back of the net. Oh, and he slipped it through the blue paint. No one there to get a stick on it, and now Marner's going to take a penalty.
And there's a couple of steamboats went before the official threw his arm up, but the Leafs take another penalty in the offensive zone.
Garrett Rank makes this call with 4:53 to go. Fourth power play for...
Well, fans don't like it, but pretty easy to call this. As Marner gets... Well, wait a sec. Did Marner never touch them? We're looking at the replay here. Matthew Nyes tries to lift the stick, and the Vegas defenseman falls. Marner just happens to be standing behind him at the time. Oh, my goodness. They don't usually show this on the scoreboard, but the fans here are incensed, and so is Sheldon Keefe behind the Leaf bench.
15:07 the time.
I think it was just the positioning of the guy that called it. You know, you're behind both players. Player in front goes down, and if I'm a Leaf right now, if the referees have any inclination they made a bad call, I'd get the Speedo on and out to the end of the diving board as soon as you can if somebody touches you. Right
into the corner, a centering pass! Oh, and a save made by Samsonov. He went post to post to get in the way of that. And a face-off in the Toronto end.
Boy, both Giordano and T.J. Brody were in the corner to the left of Samsonov, and that left a man wide open. And that was Jonathan Marchessault, who scored the Las Vegas goal. He took the pass, and his one-timer was stopped. Oh, no, we're seeing it again. A little bit of a hook into the left knee, but not a whole lot.
Marner is standing in the penalty box screaming at the official. Near side, Pietrangelo, a shot blockered away. It comes back to Pietrangelo. He gets it down into the corner. Vegas Golden Knights can do themselves a great service by just finishing off the time. Now the Leafs are able to break it back in over the line. Down into the corner it goes for Camp. Camp has it in his skates, can't control it. And the officials are getting the obligatory "you suck" call from the patrons, but to no avail. Back to the point, long shot coming, and it's just off the mark wide. Pietrangelo on the right wing boards, trying to play it in. Now into the corner, it's far side for Marchessault. Back to the point once more, and a shot in traffic is deflected just wide. The rebound comes back to Pietrangelo. Leafs have not been able to tip it out until now, as Holmberg got his stick in the way. 47 seconds left in the penalty, 3:38 in the third. Down a pair are the Leafs. Long shoot in diagonally into the far corner. Pushed around the boards. It'll come to the near side to Pietrangelo. He keeps it alive in along the boards. He'll get it back at the point. Sending it towards the front of the net. That was off a stick. Grabbed off by Stevenson. Into the far corner. Slid back to the blue line. Over to the near side. Pietrangelo with a shot. That was just wide. Kept in by Martinez at the left point. He'll get it into the far corner. Pietrangelo looking for a pass, but it goes back of the net. Then centered off into the corner. Penalty has 8 seconds left. A shot deflects high. Knocked out at center ice, but it's a little bit too late. Marner will come out of the box now. And now with 2:52 to go, is there enough to get them going? And is Samsonov all right down there?
He'll be heading to the bench soon.
Shot down into the zone. Trying to get his attention now, I believe, is head coach Keith. The puck in the corner. Leafs were fans hollering for a penalty. Kept alive by Nyes. Nyes against the board. Still with it. Flips it in front of the goal. Knocked down. The rebound is cleared to the line but not out. Kept alive to the line. Brought in offside. And now with 2:14 to go, one would think that Ilya Samsonov will definitely be coming to the bench. Yeah, face-off will be outside the blue line, so he'll probably just stay in the vicinity of the crease. And I don't know if this is the time for the timeout yet or not, but we'll wait and see if they milk this a little longer before.
Well, certainly the crowd here in retaliation to what the calls have been from the officials. I'm hearing there might be 18,500 in-person meetings in New York tomorrow. I don't know what the referee just announced here. So, Sheldon Keefe has gone.
Well, that's it. That's the first ejection. I don't ever remember him being ejected. Is that his first game misconduct?
Well, from what I know.
Wow. Well, whatever he said landed on the right ear.
Yes. Good one, Randy.
Leafs win the draw. Flipping it in, but it's cleared back out at center towards the Leaf end. The net empty now, and Marner's back in his own zone to Morgan Riley. Drop back off the official, and the Golden Knights have got the puck in their own zone, and a pass up on the wing for Marchessault, and Marner makes a big play and blocks it in the net.
Broke his stick or dropped it. He's got it back.
Nope, brought on now by Matthews. Swung it to himself along the left wing boards. Puck intercepted and shot down the ice and into the net. Pietrangelo will ice this one with an empty net goal.
I imagine the officials will probably say we gave the Leafs a break by not giving Sheldon Keefe a 2-minute bench minor.
Love to know what he said.
Oh, yeah. And he is, I don't know if he's quite in Pat Quinn territory when it comes to getting on the officials, but Sheldon Keefe is probably one of the most vocal referees in the league, arguing with the officials. So the Leafs, after winning 7-3 against the Golden Knights in Vegas, this is Pietrangelo just loading up in the corner to the right of his own net and launching it down the ice. But defensively, Vegas much better in this game, wasn't it?
No question.
As the Leafs' record against the Western Conference will fall to 23-6-2 on the year. Actually, I don't believe anybody in the West has 22 wins against the West.
East. Oh, against the West. Yeah, you're right. I doubt very strongly.
So, all we need to do is, the Leafs have had a history of, not meet a team that isn't going to make the playoffs in the playoffs, because those are the teams they've struggled with, and maybe go right to the finals. Think they could do that? Play their Western Conference rival?
Not sure how that, I'm sure that has to be adjudicated somehow.
Well, one stat which is true, I mean, you can go back to 1967, the last year the Leafs won the Cup. You only had to win 2 rounds then. The Leafs in franchise history have never won 3 rounds in the postseason, let alone 4.
Puck in the offensive zone, played out at center. Now a minute left to go in the game. Robertson with a long shot. Aiden Hill has taken that and smothered it. And a face-off will come in the Vegas Golden Knights end of the rink. But when you think about expansion teams and you think about how all of this has worked out for Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Stanley Cup champions a year ago. Yeah. Not bad.
And you give George McPhee credit. I mean, halfway through their initial season, there was a huge shift because they find themselves in a playoff spot where they thought maybe they'd be sellers at the deadline to try to build through the draft, get younger players. But because they went on that roll, eventually going to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year, there was a huge shift in
philosophy.
Yeah.
Long shot, deflects off a pad. The rebound is fired into the net, and Ilya Samsonov is going to have his goals against average inflated on a goal by Roy late in this game with 30 seconds left to play in it.
Now, we get Joseph Wall. I mean, regardless of the outcome of this game tonight, do you think Joseph Wall would be slated to start Thursday?
Well, he's up, right?
Yeah.
He did his one game. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, if he's prepared and ready to play, then yeah, I think you got to get him into the action.
And certainly this is not a reflection on Ilya Samsonov tonight. We both thought early on he looked good until the first one went in, right? Then it was sort of everything got on a roll against him. But I mean, I still think the big thing is it's not to get Joseph Wall a few games in case you need him. I think it's you get Joseph Wall in and ready in case he's your number one guy.
The horn goes. The Vegas Golden Knights on this road trip pick up their first win. The Maple Leafs 7-game win streak comes to an end as they fall to the Knights by a score of 5-2. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert with the post-game show, and our 3 stars from Molson's are brought to you by Mr. Ralph and Molson's. Any idea?
Well, Andrew Holland, Aiden Hill, star number 3 for the Vegas Golden Knights, was very solid. Jonathan Marsh is star number 2, and even though he added an empty netter, I thought Alex Pietrangelo was outstanding for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, their veteran defense, who had not won a game in 7 whilst being back, were very strong in this one for sure.
And maybe next time Armin and Andrew will remind us that we got to do the 3 stars.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything else.
I was kind of
yeah, it was haphazard. All right,
I was kind of happy I got the right teams.
You and me both.
Under pressure.
All right, you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
Caitlin Clark is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader.
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Cooley's and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did.
Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure, and Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network. Leafs drop a 6-2 game to the Vegas Golden Knights at Scotiabank Arena, ending a 7-game win streak, which was full of excitement, and that game wasn't really full of much for the Maple Leafs.
No, it got away from them a little bit there, a little bit more than it needed to, with an ejection for Sheldon Keefe, an extra goal on Ilya Samsonov that I'm sure he's not all that thrilled about. They kind of lost their composure at the end of the game, and they kind of lost their way in terms of the winning way across a 7-game win streak. It just didn't feel like it had the previous 7 outings, and I guess it kind of underscores how impressive that 16-game winning streak for the Oilers was about a month ago.
Yeah, after 7 games, there's like emotional roller coaster you're riding. You're on a road trip this whole time, and you come home, and like usually the first game home is already viewed as like a tough one to get up for. You're back. Okay, now we got to get back up for a game against a team we just cooked. So I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that it was a 6-2 loss for the Leafs. Obviously, JD Bunkus and Sam McKee will have a lot more. But before we send to them, let's take one final look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds to find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
All right, we're in the throes of a busy night in the NHL. One early game still ongoing. The Panthers have a 3-2 lead late over the Sabres. The finals are as follows. Canadians beat the Coyotes 4-2. Flyers got a 5-2 victory. Actually, that one's still going. They're up 5-2 on the Lightning. 8-3 Red Wings beat the Capitals. The Predators have a 3-1 lead over the Senators. It's 3-2 Jets over Blues. 2-2 Hurricanes and Wild. End of 2, and it's just getting underway between the Kings and Flames, who are scoreless. And 2 minutes in, Stars and Avalanche, it's already 1-1. Still to come tonight, Penguins and Canucks. Devils and Sharks.
All right, lots to break down with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee up on Leafs Talk next. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
All right, baby, Leafs Talk. JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. The streak is over, bud. It was fun while it lasted. 7 games, not bad.
Yeah, boy, it ended beautifully tonight. That was if you're gonna end one, that's the way you do it, bud. You end it. You end it in spectacular fashion. Boy, oh boy.
This was a poo-poo platter, and I went. This made me okay. This is just again personal Leaf fan experience. I really think that the streak matters. I'm not walking off that, right? Like I had Brian Boyle on my pod today.
Heard it. That's great.
Guys who are not like, that's an American who hates the Leafs, even though he played for Leafs. Even when he came to Leafs, he's like, yeah, my wife was pregnant. I didn't want to go. I love the Lightning.
Yeah, of course.
Even Leafs haters were like, hey, they did some really good things on that winning streak, and there's some reason to buy in. I'm not backing off any of it, but just sucks when they do that, right? You come home, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are going to be like, first game back home, blah, blah, blah. I thought that the first period actually wasn't too horrible, but some ugly, familiar, leafy things from this game. Where do you want to start?
Well, from a guy whose biggest takeaway from this game was it was the first game back from a Western road trip. Yeah. I don't know how we proceed here. Like I think that they did a lot of awful things, and a lot of it was brain dead, tired looking, like stuff they haven't been doing in the 7 games that they've won in a row. And it just, the attention to detail went right out the window. The turnovers were back. 6 lefties, half your guys playing totally handcuffed, defensive breakdowns everywhere. Tyler Bertuzzi now the only guy who can score for the Leafs. It was not pretty. So I don't know where you want to start, but it was just I think a bad one.
Well, so I think there's a couple things here. Going in the deadline, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's Lyubushkin, I don't care Carrier, whatever. I really don't want Sean Walker. I don't see the fit to me, but whatever. They got to get a right-hand shot D. Somebody, they need another body in there who can slot in on the right side. Like, it just, to me, that was one of the most obvious things again tonight is the butchery from the back end with guys playing their offhands. But the one, I will say this, you're right. I thought that they didn't look sharp. They didn't have any jump. They just looked lethargic. Like Vegas was beating them to pucks, beating them in short areas, looked like a team that had gotten embarrassed on their home ice and took advantage of a Toronto team that was sort of feeling themselves at the end of the trip. I am a little disappointed, I will say, that they didn't want to keep the streak rolling because it felt good. Like the momentum was nice. The one point of concern for me from this game that really bothers me about this team is just how they lose guys and they let dudes get behind the D so often. The second goal is just guys completely losing the Vegas goal. No, Barbashev is the first goal. The breakaway was the first
breakaway?
Goal.
Oh, it was the first one. Okay.
The first goal of the game was the breakaway. The second goal of the game is the tip, where it's just like, how does this look how this happens? It's just like, gonna go behind the net, Leafs get it. There's just a guy there, and they're like, do whatever you want. He's just standing there, wide open in front of the net. First goal, I still don't think we got good enough angles on. Like, did you see how Barbashev got so wide open other than just he was cherry picking?
Maybe he was cherry picking a bit. The guys were jamming in front of the net. Looked like they were locked in here. If we have it on, I think this is it here. See, they're just locked in, and he's just gone. He just cheated.
I can tell you right now that watching that clip more closely, Morgan Riley's puck watching.
Yeah, well, he did a lot of that tonight. He had a front row view for a lot of them. I think he was -4. So
that one though is just, you can't let him just get behind you like that. Watching the play at the net, like you're not even pinching there. You just let him walk in behind you. Yeah, I thought it was a tough game for 44. I thought maybe he was their worst player, and I'm really reluctant to be critical of him when he's probably my favorite Leaf in the last 15 years.
Yeah, but I think we have seen enough of, if there's one thing that they need to get a right-hand shot D-man in here, it's to take away the temptation from Sheldon Keefe to play Brody and Riley together, because it worked when Brody was better. It worked in past years when Brody was playing better. But to me, it's a strict left side only for Brody if you're going to keep him on this team past the deadline. He is not playing on the right side. He is not able to handle the top matchups playing on that side of the ice. Thought he looked good with Liljegren. Thought that pairing was really working. But yeah, those two together were just awful. It doesn't feel like it's a tenable situation playing those two together. So that to me is another reason you have to bring in a right-hand shot guy to take away the temptation of Keefe, who obviously has past years in the back of his mind. And I get why coaches do that, right? Like, it's old trusty. I understand it. I'm not going to kill him for it. He thinks that's his best option, but it's just an option that just can't work. And it hasn't worked all year. And again, tonight they get exposed. So less of that, a lot less of Riley and Brody together, please.
Dude,
and by less, I mean never again, please.
There were moments with the two of them together where I went, which one of you guys is playing which side?
I know. Well, that's the thing. When you're playing your offside, it's so hard. Playing your offside at the NHL level defense is so hard. and you had 3 guys doing it tonight. Brody, McCabe, and they put Brody over there, and then they went him back on the other side. And then you have McCabe, Benoit doing it, and Lagesson doing it. It's like these guys aren't top-end guys that can do that. That's a really hard thing to do, and they got exposed. They didn't look good, but, it's a – yeah. Anyways, what are you going to say?
Keith, well, I was just going to say, Keith, the frustration boiled over from this one.
Yeah.
Cost.
I absolutely think it's so hilarious that ref tossed him. Like, people are getting bent out of shape about it. Listen, this guy's getting a rep. He is all over red face. Every time anything goes wrong with his team in a game, he's Nick Nurse, bud. He is nonstop. He is berating.
He's got a little Nick Nurse.
Buddy, I watch a lot of hockey. He is, I don't know if he's number one, but he ain't far from it in terms of whining to the refs constantly. He is in their ear all the time. And these guys are all buds. These guys see him all the time. They're sick of it, right? Like, you get sick of that. Like, they're human. You're not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be a robot because you're a ref, but you have these reputations of guys. And when he is screaming at you all game, every time they go over to the bench, he's got a knee on the bench screaming at the ref. And I get it. They suck at their jobs. I get why it's frustrating, but all coaches don't do this. It's not all of them. He's going full Nick Nurse this year, but it's kind of hard to watch.
So I thought it was funny that during the broadcast, they pointed out that Nylander was telling him to chill out after
just chill out, man. Like, I think it was a bad call. I think it was a phantom trip, but like, to me, the ref looking at it, he got a little hook on his leg. Like, there was enough there to make a call. Bad call, but if I'm a ref looking right at it, there's a chance I make the same call. That is far from the reason the Leafs lost the game tonight. And I know classic, Leafs, like, you don't judge what people are saying on Twitter because it's the echo chamber. People blaming refs, talking about how it's the refs. Like, Leafs were dogs. They were awful the whole night. There's a couple sketchy calls. Like, I didn't, but if keep getting tossed. And then he's like, oh, who, me? I hate that. Oh, what did I say? You've been screaming at him for 20 minutes.
I think it was more like, are you serious? Because the nature of the sport is no one
gets tossed.
Nobody gets tossed. Like, nobody. Well, seeing it happen, I went, like, he didn't.
Oh,
Also, if you're going to get tossed, make a scene, throw a stick, go all the way with it.
Agree.
Right?
Yeah. Like, you don't just be like, who, me? Get the water bottle out. Get the water bottle out.
I don't think it was a who, me. I thought it was more of a, are you kidding? And like, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? Are you really going to do this? Because they gave him the warning. They told him to shot it. Yeah. And he kept going. But to me, it's like, I will say this. You're right. I hate ref talk. And there's a reason why.
Poison. We never do it. It's poison.
It's the worst. I would say that. Listen, Leaf fans, I love you. In the chat, you can go crazy.
Oh, they're probably killing us right now.
But there's the reason why I just don't stay on Twitter and I don't read the stuff is because most of you just want to say 2 things. Blame the goalie or the refs. That's why the Leafs lose all these games.
That's hockey.
Like, that's the ones. And it's just, I can't have it. Like, I can't do it every night. That said, I thought the Leafs got a bad whistle tonight. I don't think that Vegas, there was any missed calls where Toronto should have had more power plays, but like they
didn't have any. They did. They had one. They had one.
No, they had one. Right? Leafs? Yeah, and it was right at the end of the first period, and it sucked. It wasn't a very strong power play. But yeah, they just. I thought it was a weird game in that they didn't really have the whistles out. Vegas did play a clean hockey game, so credit to them. But yeah, the one they made on Brody early on in the game, like, again, it actually reminds me a little bit of the final one they made where it's just sort of 2 guys are on a puck and someone's falling and stumbling. And so the ref goes, well, I guess benefit of the doubt, this is a call, right? Like, that one kind of looks like he does something, but then when you look at it closer, he doesn't really do it. It's just a bit of a soft call. I didn't love
the worst part is the referee staring right at it.
Yeah.
He says play on. Backside official from the neutral zone's like, that's a trip. I
thought it was going to be somewhere else on the ice.
Yeah, same. I thought that drive coach is crazy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Somewhere else on the ice, there was going to be some kind of a cross check or interference play that we didn't see that I wasn't focused on because I was puck watching. And then when it turned out to be Brody, I went, buddy, the lead official's right there. Shut up.
Yeah.
What are you doing? He's staring. He's in between those guys.
He's in the scrum.
He couldn't be any more in it. He's between them. If there's a penalty on anyone, it's probably him. Anyway, I didn't like the refs.
The thing is, all these games, they always end up the power plays really even. It's always 4-4 or 2-2 or 5-5. And when you see one that's like 4-1, it's a huge outlier. So that's probably what got people bent out of shape. But
I didn't see. I'm just assuming that Leafs Twitter was going nuts. And to me, the real story of the game is just the Leafs didn't have their legs. And you said it. No attention to detail. Let guys get in behind them multiple times. Dude, Amadio had a breakaway too in this game where he didn't score, right?
And guess who was chasing back to make the play?
Yeah.
44 again.
Yeah, it's not a good look for this team. You got to bounce back and beat the team that's your home ice kryptonite and the Coyotes and beat the brakes off of them and sort of level this out, because I got to tell you, the streak was awesome, but it would be a really tough look for this team if they have another game like that against Arizona and blow 2 at home.
Yeah, this is a thing. Like, I don't have it in front of me. I don't know if Jobo can do it quickly, but they kind of stink on home ice. I don't know what the numbers are, but just anecdotally in my mind, they win way more on the road than they do at home. And that's been the case for a while.
I think now they're 2 games over 500 at home.
Yeah, that's crazy how much they are over 500 on the road then.
Yeah, they were struggling for a while. Like 15-11-2. So yeah, 3 games over 500.
Yeah, 18-6-6 on the road. Yeah.
I like how you're like, Joe, bring up the easiest stat to bring up.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
You gotta be able to bring it.
I'm horrible.
I just like how you said, Joe, I don't know. I was like, dude, you're a producer of a show. That's a terrible sign for Kivrin Bourne that you just, hey, can you find records?
Well, no, I just meant like in front of me while I'm talking to you. It's hard to like look it up on the computer. And I could have emailed Stevie Fallon and been like, hey, buddy, give me all the stats, please.
Legend, the absolute legend, the Sportsnet legend, pulled up so many things for me. So many things for me. We got to talk a little bit about Tavares, because he had, in my opinion, I think other than everything Morgan Riley, basically every Morgan Riley shift, the other toughest moment of the game, which was this turnover for the backbreaker.
Yeah.
And can we run the clip, Joe? You had a problem with Samsonov. Like, you want him to make a save.
I do. I do. But here's the thing. It's a horrible play. And I sent a tweet. I even since deleted the tweet since I've watched the replay again. And I don't know if we're going to roll it here. But the fact he doesn't go to the forehand when it's just a wide open side of the ice, it's at the end of the period. There's nothing that's going to happen on the backhand that's good there. Just hard rim. You had support along the left side of the ice, just hard rim it around there. It's a bad mistake from your captain, who's been playing really well in a checking role. He looked like he's playing banged up. He looked like he's making bad decisions out there. He's fighting something. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a, few games off here for Tavares. He's fighting something, and I think he needs to maybe sit down for a couple games. I'm not sure what it is, but even tonight, because he missed one game. When was that? Like the one that he missed, he was sick, but then he missed one other one in that streak. It was in this streak when he was day to day. And it just feels to me that like something's up with him. Something's wrong. I'm not sure what it is, but it wasn't pretty tonight. And I hated the turnover, but it's a shot from above the circle that trickles through you. It's a bit of a backbreaker. Like, you want that save from your goalie. It wasn't totally his fault. Clearly a bad, but goalies bail you out. They're allowed to make saves, and he didn't make one. So I didn't like it.
Yeah. For this to be at the end of a period, you just got a goal and you got a bounce too, right? Like all of a sudden Bertuzzi getting bounces,
you had
right?
2 guys on the other side there.
Yeah. Like this is like, is it a goal? Sure, that he could have saved. Sure. But to me, this is just like, why are you putting the goaltender in this position? It's a quick snapper on the stick of like a guy who scored 40 goals in the league, who just rips it into the perfect spot. Like, I don't know, man.
He's been making that save for a while now. It gets through him and hits him, and it like goes through his chest. I think it's a save I want.
When you slow that down, it looks worse. When you run that at real time, it's just an awful play from your captain, a guy who's supposed to have, it's just every time I watch it, it gets worse. Like, what were you thinking? And honestly, a little bit of a soft coverage from the other guys too, where they just look. Yeah, the body language for the entire team was off tonight, and the Tavares frustration after of, slamming the stick and then going to the bench and showing it even more. I don't. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe.
Or maybe he's old, and maybe he's old and he's feeling it.
Maybe exactly. Maybe he's just a guy who is starting to get pissed off because he doesn't feel like himself every night, and he's just forcing it a bit.
I don't know what show it was I mentioned it on, but this guy's been one of the best players on every hockey team he's ever been on in his entire life. And it's starting to not be that case now. And it's probably not easy to come to grips with. And I don't know, there's certain plays where he just looks labored. He looks like he's making tired decisions. Maybe he's just old. I don't know, but it just doesn't look pretty. And he'd been good for a couple games there in this role. I guess against Colorado, he was all right. Against the other Vegas game, he was okay. They've been playing him in this role. I thought he was fine, but tonight was a glaring night for me. So, I mean, all your big boys are dashes. I'm looking at this here. Matthews is Matthews is -3, Tavares -2, Domi -2, William Nylander -4. Like this, just your stars have been really good, and they had a dog night. That's what a lot of this comes down to.
They had a real dog night. And I even think about times they didn't get punished. Like the first line took a penalty in the first against Vegas's fourth line. Like in the D zone. It's just they're getting hemmed in and they take a penalty and you go, boy, this isn't the team from before. Anyway, I don't want to hammer them too hard because again, the streak is great and I think that they deserve the benefit of the doubt on a bad night. It just It does suck, I will say, from the standpoint of you were hoping that they were going to feel like they were rolling and try to really keep it going. And it does show you how tight butts are here where something like that happens. I do think a lot of fans, I won't say everybody, but I think a lot of fans are like, don't let that happen again. And then the other part of this is the goalie, because I don't think Samsonov had some kind of a horrific night, but whenever six go in the back of the net, 5 on you, and you make how many saves do you have? Did he have 20 saves?
Yeah, I'm not sure what number he got to, but I thought that last goal, they hung that poor guy out to dry on.
I know, that was awful by the team.
I can't believe they let that 26 and 30. I can't believe they let that go. It's just that's completely. It's just rude. It's like just get the puck out, get it out. Like he's been fighting it. He's seen another number go up there. The other guy's coming back here now. This is an excuse to clearly start Joe Wall on Thursday if he's feeling good. Like you just, it's such a bad goal to give up at the end of a game. No effort. They just bang one home. Like, look at this fire poker city on everybody here. No one body just being in the back of your net. I hated that. I think Samsonov has given them, you got to say, what can you say? Since he came back from the gulag, he's really saved them. He's been really good. Like, I think his numbers are probably worse than he's actually been in a lot of these games where he's been passable. He's been good. He's been an average NHL goalie where it seemed like that was never going to happen again. But now they've given the door a little bit of a crack with Joe Wall getting healthy. And if he's ready to go, I'm sure he's going to start Thursday. He plays well Thursday. I'm sure everyone's going to want him to play Saturday. So we'll see how this goes. But, Sammy deserves some credit for this streak until leading into this point because he was good for a lot of the games.
Bro, I've made this point on my show and I did today. I don't really care about the 3 goalie thing because normally it sucks because you don't have enough net in practice that it affects the guys. But in this situation, it's like, sorry, Marty, but you're a coach, okay? Like you're on ice and you're getting
the tracksuit. Get the tracksuit.
Yeah, like you're getting nothing. It is what it is. You signed here for this and you gave some good games, but they're not going to waive you. They've got the cap space for it. And they would rather put Robertson back down in the minors, which is totally fine because when Yarncroc comes back too, it just I'm sorry to say this, but there's just I don't know. There's too many nights of just nothing from Robertson for me to justify it where it's like he gets the odd shot off that looks nice and forces the goalie to make a save. You're like, great. And I know he scored a bunch of goals compared to some of the other guys, especially at the rate of dudes that have got paid more money, but those other guys do other things, and Robertson flat out doesn't. Okay, so he's out of the lineup. I think you bring Yarncroc back in. You stick with the 3 lines, but the goalies to me are going to be fine. But it should be noted that Samsonov's best runs of his career now have been when Matt Murray was vacated, and then when Woll wasn't pressing him, and Martin Jones